going. Welcome everyone to episode 4 of the Xbox Live Party podcast. My name's Ash, and I am joined by my co-host Fabio again for our 4th episode. Doesn't feel like a month's gone by, but here we are. How's it going?
What a guess. What a guess that I'm back. Thank you very much. I'm fine, just kind of dying, especially because I'm tired. Too much work, too much stuff, too much games. Not that many games, but still, it's been fun and a crazy week. What about you, my friend?
Pretty much the same. I say I was just talking to you pre-show, and I am absolutely knackered. I'm ready to go to sleep. I'll probably go to sleep straight after this podcast, but I'm determined to do it weekly, so here we are, and we've got quite a bit to talk about again. I believe.
It's never easy. It's
Oh,
never easy.
just life. I haven't played many games this week, and my focus is. I've been trying to keep up. I've been doing the True Achievement sort of
Mm-hmm.
achievement tracker sort of thing, where it's like you get a day. It tracks how many days in a row you've got achievements. And this week I've
Yeah,
just
yeah.
passed my all-time longest streak, like my achievement streak. But a
Nice.
couple of days this week I have not wanted to play, and I've had to force myself to play for like half an hour just to get one achievement, just so I can switch it off. So yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
been a long week. But what have you been playing this last week then?
So about that, we not that many stuff, especially because since works and studies and all that kind of stuff. But still, I was able to play, especially revisit some games. I've been playing Assassin's Creed 1 through backwards compatibility. Man, I missed play that game so much that I probably am going to play all the Assassin's Creed franchise all over again. I just love it. I think it's really fun. And man, the graphics for a 2007 game really amazing, really well done. Congrats to Ubisoft for that. But as well as we've been playing Gears of War Ultimate
Yeah,
Edition, and if you don't know, we streamed one of our sections of Gears of War, and it was quite fun. Of course, we did have some problems during the recording section, some audio thingies
yeah. It just
fucked
decided
up.
just to. It wasn't an issue with the stream. It was literally an issue with Xbox Live because for like 10 minutes we just couldn't speak to each other. We ended up texting on Twitter, didn't we? And like sending DMs because we weren't
I
able
was
to. We
uh,
couldn't hear each other, which was really annoying.
the problem was a problem with Xbox Live. I really was thinking that the game had a mind of its own. For
Yeah,
fuck's sake.
but this is the second time this has happened though. When we've played Gears, similar things happened the first time where we were both sat there like, "Hello, can you hear me?" And we were
Yeah.
both weren't connected. So it may just be the game. It may just be the game. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, we're playing through it on Insane, and this is the first time I've actually probably played all of Gears from start to finish. I mean, I've played 3 all the way through, but other than that,
hmm
I've never sat and played the others campaign wise. So, if you are watching this live on Twitch or you're watching this later on YouTube, the video in the background is of this exact play session. Um,
Exactly. So
so
you can see
bad
how
I
good
am.
we are.
You
Yeah,
definitely carry me in this game. I'm not a Gears player.
during so just so you know, during multiplayer we carry the team. Like we carry it for them to be defeated quickly. No worries. But yeah, again, if you don't know, we do make streams. We Our schedule is always on Tuesdays to stream something. We do not promise to make a series of one game, stream only one game, because we do like to variety and we do like to stream different stuff. So we will soon enough play more Halo as well as Gears, as well as Friday the 13th, maybe some Bleeding Edge or whatever game that is going to be released and that we can play on co-op. Or you can watch the stream with Ash playing solo because he has some games that are interesting to make fun of. especially because after that fucking stream where you made about the horrible game.
Yeah, take off your mask remastered it was, and it was a weird dating simulating thing that came out recently on Xbox and other consoles, and I played as like a girl who sneezed and turned into a cat or something like that, and Catwoman, and she was trying to get it on with a best friend who was also pretending he wasn't a soldier and something like that. It was tough. That it was fun, but not in an enjoyable game way. It was just funny to play. But I've got
Like,
lots of really terrible games that I will be streaming going forward. Not just on Xbox. I've got one I want to do. I just haven't got round to setting up my laptop to do yet. Is Fight of Gods, which is a fighting game,
yeah,
but it's just gods and stuff like Jesus is in it.
Jesus
Santa's in it, so you
versus
can have Santa versus Jesus. Any game.
South
Um,
Park, South Park feelings.
Yeah, exactly. I can't wait. So I picked it up for like £1 the other day, £1.50 or something like that online for the CD key. So I will definitely be playing that. But yeah, I like I said, this last week I've not played a huge amount, so I haven't streamed either. I will do in the future, but obviously life and university work and stuff comes first.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The things I've been playing though, I mean, other than Gears with You, I've only played like a handful of games now. I was playing that Puyo Tetris 2 with the wife. Oh, because it was free last
Nice,
week. Was it free? Was it last weekend? It was free over the weekend with
nice.
the games with gold. That's quite fun, that, because I'm not that good at Tetris and she is absolutely fantastic at it. I mean, she will destroy me in a multiplayer, but I'm better at Puyo Puyo.
Awesome.
So you can sort of like one-on-one it as well, and the story, and it's got Sonic in. So yeah, I was playing that, and then the only other things I've played was Task Force Campus, which is like a shmup, like a shooter, space shooter. That is actually really fun. It was on sale last week for like a £2. Really, really fun. I'm getting into those sort
Nice.
of games. And Sanuka Attack, or should I say hashtag Sanuka Attack, which, if you're watching this, it's in the top right corner of the screen on the highlights. And it's like a weird puzzle game where you run around and you're like knocking giant snooker balls into levers and stuff like that to open doors, basically. And it's sort of like room-based puzzles, but you have to do it with like physics and like
I'm just trying to imagine the
it's
meeting
weird.
that the developers decided to make. We need to make a game. What should we make? We could make a puzzle game. Nice. What else? What else? Give me ideas. Wait, I know what to do. And then this fucking game came to be.
Yeah.
Like,
And they were like, "Do you know what? What can we do with this puzzle game?" And someone's like, "Snooker or pool."
Snook.
And they were like,
Exactly.
"And we'll make it with really weird jumping and really weird, like you have to jump with like
Physics.
A and push the the bumpers to pull the cue back, but then use the other stick that you don't move with to aim." It's so awkward, but for achievement hunters,
Ooh.
it's not a bad, easy achievement game. It's the only reason I was really playing it was because I was trying to keep that achievement streak going, which I feel dirty for doing. But some days you just got to do it when you're into achievements. It's the dirty side of achievements.
You gotta do what you gotta do. Simple as that.
Someone will probably enjoy that though. It is a
Oh, yeah,
weird
oh, yeah,
it's
for
a
sure.
weird little indie game. It's only like £3, I think, if you buy it. I got like a review copy, which I've done a video on YouTube. They can watch me failing because I suck, absolutely suck at it. I kept falling down pits. I kept hitting the balls in the opposite direction, down holes. I were terrible, but that's just me. But other than that was my
No, no
week in
worries.
games. It wasn't very exciting. Which is
Oh
disappointing.
yeah,
But
but
I'm looking forward to
not that
jumping back
much.
into my backlog anyway.
So there's so much stuff to play, especially with Game Pass. They don't stop for crying out loud.
No,
But
and especially when they're adding like Yakuza, which I've now gotten into, which are massive games. It's never gonna stop.
exactly.
If they're all 40 hours and there's like 6 of them, it's just never gonna end. It's never gonna end. But that's just value, I suppose. You gotta pick and choose which ones you're gonna play now.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But like when we are talking about what we are talking about Game Pass, here's a game that it seems that is coming to other platforms, and maybe I don't know. I think it would be a really nice opportunity for them to add the game on the Game Pass library. What do you think?
Yeah,
Would
I
you agree with
agree.
me?
Yeah. So the game in question is currently a PS5 and PC game um, called
What's next?
bugsnax. So this is that weird game where you're sort of like on an island with some blokes who, from what I can gather, is they're wanting to eat the bugs, which are all made of food, and then
Yeah,
when they eat them,
it's
they become them. They sort of like grow arms that are like
yeah,
carrots and stuff like that.
it,
It's so weird, but it looks
exactly.
interesting.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I don't have any doubts that this game has probably has some kind of fun with it. I just don't see it because right now because I haven't played it. But they did say that they do intend to bring this game to other platforms, and I think that's really awesome. The game
Yeah,
has
yeah.
been receiving really nice reception. Thankfully, that's really nice, and seems like a nice success.
Yeah,
Great work for developers.
yeah. Like I say, it's one of the more interesting games that are only currently, if you're a console player, only on the PlayStation 5. Now, I mean, it's not
Yeah,
visually or sort of um, software challenging, but it looks fun. It's different, and honestly,
exactly.
it's one of those like nice, relaxing looking type of games where it's not like
For
stressful.
sure.
It's not action like somewhat like Animal Crossing or those sort of games where it's just sort of you can pick it up and you can just sort of enjoy the atmosphere, enjoy the music, enjoy the characters and stuff. It kind of reminded me a bit of like Viva Pinata looking when I first saw it.
Oh yeah,
In that sort of look.
it does like it does give me the vibes of Viva Pinata, not because of the mechanics or necessarily because of the visuals. It's mostly because of the variety.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
different.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, I know what
something
you mean.
in comparison with what we do have, especially with childish games that we do have nowadays. There's nothing in comparison with what Viva Pinata was, and as well, there's nothing right now that is like bugsnax. So I think it's really nice. We still don't know when the game is going to release on other platforms. Of course, they could be only saying that it's going to be released on Nintendo Switch,
But
but
fingers crossed.
but it seems that they really actually intends to put it on every single platforms that we do have right now, and that's great. Like
Yeah, I definitely think
really
it would do
awesome.
well. It's like one of those like idea Xbox sort of games that do really well when they're on Game Pass. Um,
Oh yeah,
and it would
for
fit
sure,
in.
for sure.
It's a category that Xbox doesn't have enough of. We need more of these type of games. We've got shooters, we've got driving
Yeah,
sort of games. We could do with
yeah,
more sort of different and oddities. And I would definitely play this if it came out. I liked it, the look of it on the PlayStation. I was tempted to. I was looking at maybe picking it up on PC because I think it's only about
hmm
£15 on PC. But
nice,
I've held off at the moment just in case it ever does come out now. So we'll see if there's any news on that in future.
for sure. Fingers crossed as always. And
Yeah,
the
and then let's move on to the
and
next segue of something that
mm,
isn't coming to other platforms.
for those who don't know, here we have it. Master Chief Collection coming to other platforms. Is that so? What do you think? Is there any chance of that happening?
No, do you know what? I don't want to say no because you know what Xbox are like, but reasonably, it's like that is the Xbox game or the Xbox and PC game. The one thing if you say Xbox, pick a
Exactly.
game is Halo.
The
I
first
don't
thing you think.
see any way in any chance in hell that'll end up on other consoles unless the only place I could see it is possibly on Switch via streaming or
Oh yeah, especially because
via
of
Game Pass if they ever put it on Switch.
especially because of how close Nintendo and Microsoft are nowadays, right?
Honestly, they can have the Master Chief Collection if they give us something decent back. I would be well happy for
Oh yeah,
games on Xbox to go to
give
other
us Mario,
consoles if we had like a
give
one
us
for one.
Mario, or give us Mario, or
Yeah,
give us Donkey Kong. I'll accept
yeah,
this.
exactly. Just give us
Simple
all
as
the
that.
old rare games. Just let us have them. Give us
We do have we do
yeah, but
have
give
some
let let
rare
let
games
let
for
us
you know.
let us have them. Let us have them. But yeah, so this came out the other day, though, didn't it? Jumping back onto topic, as I'll go off topic as usual. But yeah, basically, the developers 343 Interactive, they put up a post about like an upcoming test flight, and
Mm-hmm.
it said something about there may be a different way or a new place to play. And obviously, the fanboys went
Yeah.
nuts. They frothed at the mouth. They were like dancing around. They were like monkeys throwing shit at each other on Twitter over it's coming to it. Mark my words. It was it.
Like
Save this tweet. It's coming to PlayStation and Switch.
people,
Well, they've announced what that
oh
place
yeah,
is now.
or, or people saying, or, or people saying that you see blue suits really well, Master Chief, as
Yeah,
you can see.
exactly. It was just stupid stuff. And in the end, what was
Yeah,
it? It was something absolutely nothing.
exactly. Like if it was coming to other platforms, I think that the closest thing that we would have, like if it comes to if we ignore the possibility to come to Nintendo Switch and all that kind of stuff, but I don't think it's going to happen, especially because it's Xbox's mascot, so it's not that simple. But I think it would be only another PC store like Epic Games.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I don't even
Simple
think
as
it will
that.
come to Epic. I think Microsoft and Valve are getting quite pally in the sense of their games going on Steam. I just,
Oh yeah.
especially with like
Like they
Gabe coming
are
out and saying it's the best console and stuff like that. I don't think.
and, and like one thing that is pretty huge is because Halo Master Chief Collection is a really huge success, not only on console but as well as on Steam. Like it's been one of the most well buy games. So
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I agree with you. Do you know what? It's such a good collection as well. They've done such a good job.
for
I
sure,
can see why people want it on other consoles. But yeah, it
yeah,
turned out the news was it was basically like, uh, was it a Halo Online map is coming to the Halo 3 multiplayer section
yeah,
or something rubbish like that. It's a new map and a new game mode. It's not going like that's the new place to play. It's a new map to play on.
exactly.
It was very badly. I think it was a very badly worded press release, and I
For
bet
sure.
there's probably been some words said about it, or they're probably not because they've had everyone talking about it all week, and everyone's probably rushed to that article about the new update as well. So
Oh yeah.
swings and
See,
roundabouts, I suppose.
what I don't understand is that 343 made the post being like trying to be as clear as they could be, and some websites decided to make articles saying Master Chief Collection is coming to other platforms, and that's it.
Yeah, you're
Like,
right. You're
what the
correct.
hell's going on?
Yeah,
Why is
stupid, innit?
this? What? I don't know. I actually don't know what they are thinking of. They just their only interest is only have clicks, right?
Oh yeah, it's very odd, but
Simple as that.
they just misconstrue words for their own benefit.
Hmm.
Right, but I don't think there's much to talk about on that. That's literally it. People have took it all out of context for a week, and nothing's happened. It's not coming to PlayStation 5. It's not coming to Switch. It's not even coming to Epic Game Store as it stands. It's exactly where it was. It's just getting a new game mode and map for us to play uh, on the test flights. It's not even coming to public just yet. So all that fuss over nothing. But
Oh yeah,
moving on to more depressing news for those who followed on from last week with the depressing news that Google are dropping support for Stadia. Another developer's now cancelled their port of their upcoming game as well, haven't they?
Terraria.
Yeah, Terraria, the developer Terraria, tweeted earlier in the week saying basically he'd been locked out of his Google email accounts, and he'd had no for weeks, or it might have even been longer than that. And he's been trying to get like his accounts back, so he's lost like business accounts, like emails. He's lost like games, and he's lost films because
Yeah,
they're all tied to his Google account, and they're not helping him.
exactly.
So as a sort of fu to Google, he's like, "Well, I'm going to cancel my in development Terraria Stadia port." Now, I've
But
not played Terraria, but
mm-hmm.
it's got a massive following, and this one guy, it's a one guy, isn't it, that develops it, and he keeps pumping out
Yeah,
updates all the time for it. So there's a big cult following for it. It's got like a big following in that sort of scene. So it's just another blow to Stadia, and it's just another Google mishap. They're just not bothered about it. They've
for
just
sure.
handled it wrong.
And the most sad thing about it is because it's not Stadia fault. It's not
No,
Stadia's fault.
no,
That's
no,
Google's fault. And Stadia is paying the price. Like, man, that's really. I think that Google should. I really think that Google is not caring anymore for Stadia
no, and
because
it
for
may
for
still come
them to,
out, but they're gonna have to kiss
but
his
but
ass quite a bit.
but still, for them to allow this to happen, they already lost a ton of studios. And now this happens. Okay, for sure, it's an indie game, but still, you wanna have games on your platform. You wanna
Yeah.
have more games
Not
on your
every
platform.
game is
If you,
AAA.
for sure,
Indie games probably make up about 75% of games.
exact. For crying out loud, look at, for example, Xbox Live Arcade. We had
hmm
a massive amount of indie games
What
during the 360 era, and
what
it
you need
was
to
a
think though as
massive
well with
success.
with Stadia, the whole point of it is it can do it on the go. You can do it anywhere. Mobile gaming is massive, and
Yep.
the Switch does massive numbers on indie games. I'm sure the indie games sell better anywhere on the Switch than anywhere else, sort of thing. I'm sure they do stupid numbers
Mm-hmm.
compared. So there's clearly a market for smaller indie games that you can play on the go than massive AAAs all the time. But I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Stadia, but it's not looking good. It's on.
Yeah, and that's really a bad thing. Not no one here is like, thank God Stadia is done for. No, like try to be better. Apologize. Even though even if you decide to make like South Park, apologize. I'm sorry.
But yeah, it's.
I
I
got
don't know what to say to
I'm sorry.
that. I
Maybe
love
we
that
should go to the
episode.
next topic.
I love that episode.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't?
Oh. But yeah, we'll
Should
move
we
on.
go to
We'll
the
move on
next
to
topic?
We'll move on to better news of games actually coming out now.
So, for those who don't know, probably you don't know, and probably this was a long time coming, especially because it was kind of obvious that this was going to happen. Crash Bandicoot 4 is coming to the next gen consoles. So, I don't know how it's going to work on the PS5, but Major Nelson it's himself already made a tweet saying that Crash Bandicoot 4 is going to be available on Xbox Series X because of the smart delivery.
Yeah, and it will also have next gen upgrades and everything like that. So,
And I was lost.
but yeah, I'm looking forward to Crash coming out. I definitely want to play that. Um, you've got it already, haven't you? Can you hear me? Has he gone? I'll keep talking then until he replies. But yeah, so basically they've announced that it's coming out to obviously all next gen consoles. It's getting a upgrades, obviously like sort of frames per second upgrade and like resolution upgrades. And it's going to be a free upgrade if you already own the game, or you'll obviously be able to buy a next gen version. But obviously with Xbox, it includes a smart delivery. Moving on from Crash, you're back now. You're back. I thought you'd gone.
Yeah, I am back. I'm so sorry, guys.
We could hear you that time though, so I don't know
For
what
some
happened with
reason the
you.
Discord here. Oh yeah, I don't know what happened. Like because my Discord was just was not responding, and then I don't know what happened. Soon enough, we'll try to make some tweaks here and there to make it better and improve it. Maybe we'll try to go to another platform to record this. But so far,
Yeah,
let's
that's
continue
yeah,
then.
yeah. To be fair though, the audio is a lot better this week. There's not as
Ah,
many
thank
cutouts. Now,
thank
if
God
we
for
do
that.
have cutouts and drops every now and again, just remember I am based in the UK and Fabio is based on the other side of the world, and it does every now and again cut out, especially with crappy weather and all that sort of stuff. But uh,
Exactly.
we are looking at ways. Like I say, we call the podcast the Xbox Live Party Podcast because we were originally going to record it over Xbox Live, but
Yep.
we were struggling to obviously do the videos and stuff like that all over Xbox Live. So, yeah, it sucks every now
Get
and
there.
again, but the
We'll get
amount
there.
it happens in like a 2 hour podcast, we're just not fussed about it at the moment. And honestly, we're just always going to keep trying to improve. So if there's anything you can suggest, let us know, and we'll do our best. But yeah,
Oh
I was
yeah, for
saying
sure.
you've got Crash Bandicoot already, haven't you?
Yep.
So
Yep. I do.
is it worth getting it on next gen consoles?
Here's what I think. Yes, it is. But if you intend to complete it, there's no point of you to pay the game full price for the price that it has right now if you have no intention to complete it. Especially because it's really difficult to compare. It's a freaking nightmare. But the problem is, if you don't complete it, you are kind of losing 75% of the game you paid for.
Mm.
Because in terms of the amount of content, the game is huge if you intend to complete it. If you
Yeah.
just want to go through the main story and that's it, there we go. I don't want to go grab all the crates, all the gems, or all the time trials and all that kind of stuff. Okay, you could have just waited for a better sale drop, and then buy it. Then you will lose 75% of the game you just bought it. So is it worth it? Yes, especially if you are a fan of it. But
Maybe get it in sale.
but only in terms of completion, and be ready to die a lot. It's not equivalent to a Dark Souls for the love of Christ, but still, it's hard. It's hard. Get
Yeah.
ready to get angry trying to complete this fucking game. But still, really fun.
Right. We were going to talk about another game getting a possible re-release, but I'm going to bring some up that's not on our list just to throw a spanner in the works because I've just seen it online now from like a decent like Xbox page that I follow that there's like a new leak about Fall Guys coming to Xbox and other platforms. So this is interesting. So it says Fall Guys Season 4 and update spring at the end of March. There'll be a new trailer for Fall Guys Season 4 with new levels in early March. Coming to Xbox Switch in March with Season 4. Nintendo Switch will be published by Panic Button. There'll be new
And
editions
my
of
Discord
Fall
just got
Guys.
froze.
Oh, what did
I
you
don't
hear
know
me
why.
say?
I actually don't know what's going on.
Well, anyway, I'll keep going what I'm on. So there'll be new editions of Fall Guys with a physical edition, championship edition, and a collector's edition for PS4, PS5, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, and PC. with a next-gen update for PS5 and the Xbox Series, and there's no plans for it to come to Game Pass. Now, that was off of, it was shared on Generation Xbox, so take it with a pinch of salt, because it may or it may not be coming. But I've just seen it now, and I thought, why not mention it? Because honestly, we've mentioned it in the past, that they said Fall Guys wasn't coming to Game Pass, but they never said it wasn't coming to Xbox. But it sounds like it's going to come to everything soon, so that'll be good. So I apologise. It still sounds like Fabio's having issues with his Discord. That's the joys of being doing it all online. But we've got to do what we've got to do when we're across the world from each other. I'll just keep going while we're here and see if he can get himself sorted out. So in other news, there was a leak online that Republic Commando, so Star Wars Republic Commando, is getting a re-release by Aspyr, who are doing who did the Star Wars Pod Racers re-release recently, like the HD. I say HD. They did the remaster where it worked on modern tellies and it looked nice and had achievements. But they're doing that, and supposedly they're bringing out Star Wars Republic Commando as well. Now I think it's only been
Not just
shown.
not only Republic Commando is back, but I'm back.
Oh, there we go.
Thank you very
He's
much.
back.
There
So,
we go. Thank God. Let's see if Discord don't fuck us up anymore. Let's hope so.
So all you missed was Fall Guys might be coming to Xbox. So we've moved on from that. I don't know anything more about it other than what I've read out. I'll send you a link to it later so you can have a look. But it's from more of a reputable page I follow. But it looks like it's coming to everything.
Especially because we already talked about that during the last podcast, I think.
Yeah, the thing is though, it's not. It says it's not coming to Game Pass, so they technically weren't lying. So if it does come out on Xbox and it comes out on Switch and Xbox, but not on Game Pass, then they technically just made a tiny fib and like not announced it as such. But yeah, Republic Commando is an awesome game. It's a FPS, one of the best Star Wars games of that generation, and it was a big Xbox original game. I've got it. I believe it was a Games with Gold at some point. I haven't replayed it in a few years, but if it comes out and they re-release it with like sort of upgraded graphics and achievements, then I'd probably play through it again because it is such a fun little game. Really good, really solid shooter. I don't know if have you ever played it?
Not very much, but for what I can remember, I played it a long time ago, and when I got it on the Xbox Live Gold, I haven't played. But for what I can remember, when I played for the first time, I was really amazed. I really loved the how the game works and looks. Was just a drink of. I do love Star Wars so much, and so every time we have the chance of having something good about it, it goes into my heart. It's beautiful, just like bring back Knights of the Old Republic, for God's sake.
Yeah, I would rather it be Knights of the Old Republic. I agree, but if these were the people that were rumored to be bringing back Knights of the Old Republic, that rumor that went round a week or two ago, maybe the Knights of the Old Republic is just going to be a remaster. So
I'll take it.
Yeah, I'd take Knights of the Old Republic with achievements and stuff. So
like Knights of the Old Republic is just like we're talking about Silent Hill. Do it.
Yeah, do it.
Just that's it.
Do you know what? Xbox need to. Like I said this on the last podcast. Xbox need to give these guys some money and just get them to pump out like these. I'm going to say cheap remasters because they're just basically making sure it works on the new system and up-resing the graphics and just making it look neater and on modern screens and adding achievements. Do this for all of the old Xbox original games, or just do it for all the real original games as part of your backwards compatibility program. Just give us achievements on them. You would see a massive spike in original Xbox game sales if they put achievements in them.
Sure.
But
for sure.
Hey, if it does come out for Xbox, it may just come out to Switch. I'm not 100% sure, but everything they've been bringing out has eventually come to Xbox. So
Like, I don't think they would like, oh, let's just release it on Switch. Especially because I think they are going to make it's going to be a re-release, but I do think they are going to make some updates, right?
probably they don't do a huge amount on them. They just sort of polish them up a little bit and add like achievements or whatever is on that current platform
So,
and stuff.
it doesn't make any sense for them to not try to get some more profit from
Yeah,
it. So
exactly. So, but I just think they just instead of re-releasing them, if they just had a company like them bring updates to these old games, people would buy them anyway, rebuy them just to get those achievements. Do you know what I mean?
uh, yeah,
So
especially because of how huge Star Wars is.
yeah,
So, like, I'm talking specifically about Star Wars because of the how beloved this franchise is, and anything that it does involve it will be well received.
yeah, exactly.
Like, it may after some days be considered like bad. Like, for example, we had Star Wars Battlefront 1 that for me, I like it. I enjoyed it, but it's not very good in comparison with what we've been promised.
You mean the remake Battlefront one, the not the
Yeah,
original?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
No,
It,
no,
it
not
it
the
wasn't
remake.
a bad game. It just didn't stand up to the old
For sure.
Battlefronts.
Exactly, exactly. Like, don't make me. I would never say bad stuff about the original Battlefront for the love of God.
Oh yeah. Do you know what game I would like to see if they ever brought more Star Wars games out? I would love to
Mm,
see Jedi Power Battles get a remake or a remaster.
mm,
That is such a good Star Wars game, and it was like a PS.
interesting.
I don't know if it came out on other consoles. I know it was on PlayStation 1 because that's what I had it on, but that was a really cool co-op,
Nice.
like a co-op couch co-op Star Wars game that had semi-decent
Yeah.
controls and a decent story. So I'd like to see that come back, but I don't think it ever will. But you never know nowadays.
I think that eventually they will bring back all the Star Wars games because, like, having if they are bringing back, it's not necessarily the same company, but if they are bringing back even the for the third time all the Lego Star Wars games back to next generation, updated graphics, more stuff, and bloody die, and that's it. I think they will sort of try to bring back as well Republic Commando, Knights of the Republic, and other ones.
Yeah, yeah,
Especially
no,
because
no, I know what you mean.
especially of how well the Fallen Order was, how well received and was that game.
Yeah, very.
And it's
Rightly
really
so. It was
awesome.
actually good for a change.
For sure, for sure, for sure. A non-multiplayer Star Wars game. Thank you.
You know what? I don't mind multiplayer games. I'm sick of multiplayer um, arena games all the time. Why can't we have more co-op multiplayer? I can't make because Star Wars would make a cool. Imagine having like a Star Wars game where like one of you was the co-pilot and one of you was the actual pilot or something, or like the gunner on the Millennium Falcon or something, and one of you just flew it and the other one was on the cannons and stuff. Just stuff like that. It would just make it um, pretty interesting. And then we're going to move on to the next topic, which is another game getting re-released. Fabio says he's gone again, so he luckily is not missing anything of massive importance. So the next re-release game is coming from Telltale Games, and 2K. I saw this post by 2K earlier. Tales from the Borderlands. So that is the if you've ever played like a Tales game, sort of
Mm-hmm.
the story-driven content, the episodic, sort of like the Walking Dead, the Batman games. That's returning
The
to
Wolf Among Us.
storefronts on February the 17th. So this is set between Borderlands 2 and 3, and
Nice.
it follows the story of Reese and a Hyperion suit and Fiona a con artist on a quest born of greed but destined for greatness. That's the official blurb. Now, I've got this. I bought it physically about a year ago just because I couldn't. I had a phase where I was going through all the Telltale games. So I picked up all the ones I could find. So I've picked up Game of Thrones. I picked up this. I picked up all the Walking Deads and the Batmans and that. I still haven't played. This is one of the only ones I haven't played. I picked up Guardians of the
Mhm.
Galaxy as well. But a lot of people have said Tales from Borderlands is really good. But obviously, with
Right?
Telltale originally shutting down before it got took over by a different company, they stopped showing it and it sort of disappeared. But now it is coming back, which is great. It doesn't say if there's any upgrades or anything for next gen. I think it's just the original game just brought back out. But
Ah, that's a shame.
at
Not
least it's
gonna
coming
be.
back for those who haven't been able to get it.
Oh yeah,
Um, I mean,
for
I
sure.
managed to
But
pick up
still,
the physical, but yeah,
but
I would be annoyed.
yeah, but again, it's really awesome that it's coming back. But it's quite a shame that it's not going to have any next gen updates, especially with the pieces of hardware that we do have right now.
You never know. It'll probably run better, but I don't think it's got like upscaled or anything like that. Unless maybe it has, but I can't. I haven't seen anything saying it has. And
Mm,
honestly,
but
the
in the
way this
person
new
way,
Telltale works is they just sort of pump them back out. They just sort of
yeah.
rake. I say that though, but they re-released The Walking Dead, and that had an upgraded graphics. They sort of redid all the lines and everything on it, and like for all the first couple of games had a different, like it wasn't as thick the line work and that. And when they released like the Ultimate Collection, it had all the same art style all the way through all of them. So they did slightly tweak it. So you never know,
Mhm.
but
Yeah, we can hope. We
yeah,
can always hope.
this is one of the downsides, unfortunately, of digital gaming. Sometimes, if companies go bust or licenses run out, they do get
Yeah.
removed. I'm annoyed because I want the Jurassic Park Telltale game,
Hmm.
and now it's no longer available in the UK store. It's only available on the US store, so I can't get a copy of it right now. I'm gutted.
That's fucked up.
I'm gonna have to have a look, see if there's a way I can log into my American account and download it and play it. Um, but
I know I know what you mean because here in Brazil we don't have any access to Dragon Age 2.
oh,
Man, that's one thing that was funny because to, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, we we were promised that the games with gold will have Dragon Age 2, and then since in Brazil that's a game that is not available, Xbox Brazil decided to replace it for them all.
what do you mean? That's a banger of a game.
Oh, yeah, it's nice, it's fun, it's a good game. I do actually think it's a really nice game from the developers of Explosion Man, Miss Explosion Man, Comic Jumper. Really nice indie game, really well done. I forgot the Twisted Pixel, something like that. They were members of the Microsoft Studios and then they dropped out. But still, it was fun, but it wasn't Dragon Age. Like, and they promised. But so I know what you mean how fucked up it can be this like license region things with games that I have no idea why they are like they are nowadays.
Oh, yeah, it's so annoying. I say that's
Sad.
it's the only Telltale game I don't own on Xbox now. I had it on
Hmm.
PlayStation and PC, but I really want to get it on Xbox, and I just can't. And
Yeah.
I'm so annoyed. I will find a way. I'm sure you can log in on a different region's account and buy and stuff games. I'll have to have a look into it though. But yeah, one day.
Mhm. Is there any is there any just for you to like log into your American account? You add your main profile as a friend with that American account, and then you buy the game as a gift.
maybe, but I don't know if it's region locked. That's the thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
If it's not region locked, it does. It like it may let me like you can't. They didn't make a disc version in the UK either. There's only a disc version in America, which is so
Mm-hmm.
annoying. And I think that is region locked. So
Ah,
yeah, it's a pain, but I'll get it eventually. I'll get it eventually. Um, moving on with a
speaking of
great,
getting it,
yeah,
speaking of getting it, you see what I did there?
I'd say you beat me to it.
As always. But so for those who don't know as well, you must be quick because we do have new Sea of Thieves Twitch drops. So during February 19th until February 24th, we are going to have more items for you to watch the Twitch partners from Sea of Thieves for 20 minutes, and then you will receive some really well looking items. It's like I think it's the sequence of the first wave of Twitch drops that we had because the style of the items is really close to what the other ones looked like.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they look very similar. Um, did you manage to get any of the other ones?
I lost some.
Oh,
I
you missed
ended
some,
up
did you?
losing. Yeah, I missed like two of them,
Oh, I got
but
in.
other three I was able to get it.
Oh,
Sadly, but still, I'm happy with what I got, and I'm happy with how my character looks in Sea of Thieves.
fantastic. Oh, that's all that matters. But I'll definitely be logging in. I like the fact that this next one is more different types of items. So there's like the fishing rod and stuff like that. Something a bit different this time instead of just hat, coat,
Oh
sword,
yeah,
pistol.
we do have an emotes here.
Yes, I don't know. The emotes are always good.
Some of them not that much, but most of them are really funny. I gotta tell you, some of the emotes, very few of them are. I think they are pointless. Especially if you like, I would just spend real money to grab these emotes. No, don't do it, please. Go buy a ship set, simple as that. But you should support the Self-Use Twitch partners. Watch them for 20 minutes, and you will grab some items for free.
Yeah, I'll be doing it. I'll be
Thank
doing
you
it for
very much.
sure. Right, I'm gonna have to just
Both of us.
run away for like 2 minutes. Not even that. Just so I'll let you talk about the next topic because you'll know more about it than me. But I will be
Okay.
right back.
Okay. So if my Discord don't focus over once again, for those who don't know, I am a pretty big Killer Instincts fan. And what it seems that we have here is that Killer Instincts, Microsoft intends to bring back Killer Instincts, but they don't have the developers for it. They don't know who to call it. And that's a really big problem, especially because I was thinking that we were hoping something would happen between Microsoft and Warner Bros. But probably that's not gonna happen right now, especially with how things have been going. But so far, yeah, let's hope. Let's hope they can find someone, some any studio, someone that is really capable to do great things within fighting games. The fighting genre community is really big, and so let's hope to see what happens. Killing Instinct, when it was released on the Xbox One, was really well received. It was able to have for what I can remember, 3 seasons with characters, schemes, new modes, new content. It was a huge success. And for those who don't know, there's a YouTuber that is totally focused on fighting games called Maximilian Dude. You should go there and see what he has to offer and see what he has to say about Killing Instinct. And he did manage to make a what I can say a tournament that it was with the hashtag Bring Back Killing Instinct, and it was a huge success. So I really think that Killing Instinct is coming back, will come back. We just need to wait for Microsoft to find someone who is capable of doing something with the IP that has the knowledge and the resource and ability to make a really well done fighting game, as we had with the first one, the last game actually. And let's see what happens. I'm really for sure. How can I say this? Like Killing is really awesome. It's one of the I could say it's my favorite fighting game. I could say not necessarily this one, but I would say the whole franchise. Yeah, Mortal Kombat is really amazing as well as Street Fighter, but Killing Instinct has something unique with it. I don't know if it's just the screaming of the announcements or something like that, but so far, let's see what happens. I think it's going to be awesome. And again, go check out Maximilian Dude and the hashtag Bring Back Killing Instincts. I think that's how it was called out. But again, let's see what happens.
Yeah,
Moving on to
definitely.
the
Definitely. I'm back. I'm
uh,
back.
so you're back. Thank you very much. How much did you hear?
I got the end of it, and I agree. So about it is such a good fighting game.
Oh
People
yeah,
definitely need to play, and I'm looking forward to it eventually coming back at some point. Sorry, I dashed
we
off. I had
just
to
need
get a
to.
drink. I was desperate.
Yeah, no, no worries, no worries. But like as I said, we just need to wait for. All we can do now is wait for Microsoft to acquire or just to find a capable studio to do great things. Like for example, in my opinion, the Lily studio was really great with what they did with Battletoads. So they are a pretty capable studio of doing a beat 'em up game.
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
let's
No,
hope
yeah, yeah.
that they can find another studio that is able to that maybe it's not that well known, but it's capable and has enough passion to make a really awesome fighting game.
Yeah. No, no. I totally agree with you. Totally agree. It's just waiting for that right developer that'll do a good job. There's no point in just chucking it at anyone and then it getting slated and people moaning about it and stuff like that. You may as well.
Yeah, eh, yeah, and as I said, just so we can finish this topic here because I talked too much, and let's not just go in circles all around because people want to hear the other stuff we have to say. And since we Microsoft will not be able right now to buy Warner Bros,
Oh, is it?
one can always hope.
Yeah. I don't think we're ever going to buy Warner Brothers. I mean, it
For
doesn't make
sure.
sense,
Yeah.
but it's a shit. Do you know what? I'd maybe happy to buy NetherRealm off them because they're the best studio in terms of what Xbox needs, in my opinion. But
Yeah. Would that be possible?
I think anything's possible if you put the big enough bag of money on the table. But I doubt it's going to happen. But
Here, we do have a $7.5 billion.
did you ever think they were
We
going to buy
want
Bethesda
just
for
one
seven and a
of
half
your studios.
billion? I just anything's on table now. It's all good. Talking about though,
Oh, yeah, sure.
um, game studios and people making games on Xbox or purchasing and becoming Xbox studios. There was something going around saying Paradox Interactive was being spoken to by Microsoft in either a games on Game Pass or exclusivity contract for games, or possibly becoming a Xbox studio. It's not 100% clear if I remember correctly. It's just a sort of
Yeah,
Xbox is speaking to them.
like here's the thing. I really think that I never played any game from them. I don't know what to expect.
Let's have a
What
look.
are they focused
Paradox.
about?
Do you know
What
what?
is their
What
focus?
I know
Because
what Paradox make the most are really
PC
like
games,
in
right?
depth, like strategy games and stuff like that. Now,
Mm,
they have a lot of studios though. They've got
mm,
9 studios they own that are all Paradox studios. So they're
really
bigger than I
nice.
thought. They make lots of like texty and wordy strategy PC games. I mean, they made City Skylines that was on Game Pass recently. Um,
Okay.
Crusader Kings. I'm just having a look down the list. Just bear with me. Dark Horizon,
No worries.
Darkest Hour,
Mm-hmm.
Europa Universalis. That's a popular one. Hearts of Iron, the King Arthur, the role-playing game. I've played that one. That's not bad. They made Knights of Pen and Paper, Lost Empire, Magicka, Majesty, Mount and
Nice.
Blade,
Man.
Penumbra,
Mm-hmm.
Prison
Mm-hmm.
Architect. So I know I've heard of Prison Architect.
Nice.
That's so
Like they
quite
do
quite
have
quite a lot of their games are already on Game Pass. Now, if it
quite
was
a
me,
library.
they would probably be putting them onto maybe they might be trying to get some on Game Pass PC because 95% of Paradox games are PC only. Do you know what I mean? Or like
Yeah, yeah, I know what
Windows
you
and
mean.
Apple
But
and that.
still,
And but
but still, they should, if they do acquire them, they must bring these games to Xbox. There's no point to we bought a studio that is only going to make games for PC.
yeah, they're making
So
that Vampire the
what?
Masquerade, the Bloodlines 2.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's not a really
But
good thing to talk.
that,
Surviving Mars, that's come out. I mean, a lot of the more modern stuff.
nice.
Looking at Wikipedia now, most of their stuff in the
Mm,
last sort of 5 years, 5 6 years, have all come out on all consoles. So they've come out on PC, Xbox, or PlayStation. They've come out. They've not just been PC. I'm looking. There's nothing. Like I say, nothing major, barring like a couple of games that they've made over the last sort of 5 6 years have actually only been on PC. So I don't know.
mm-hmm.
Maybe to me at the moment it's either they're talking to him about Vampire being a Game Pass exclusive, like on a Game Pass. They're either talking to him about Game Pass PC, which would make sense because they have got probably about 20 games that are like, if you're into that style of game and you want a hardcore strategy or a PC game, they are some of the best. And it's not my cup of tea. I ain't got that much time to sit and play and like the really
Yeah.
management-y and strategy and that. But Game Pass
But
PC doesn't have as much content as the Xbox version. So someone like that, if they just got their
yes.
even if they just got the back catalogue of them, that's going to fill out your Game Pass PC massively. Uh,
Oh yeah, for sure. That
or
it's gonna for
it's a they're
it's
taking them over. But I think I don't think it's that. I think it'll be a Game Pass thing.
but like I do think that it's going to be a but like in terms of if they acquire them, I'm not saying that they are for sure going to acquire them, but if they do, it's going to be for sure a nice deal. If they we acquired to you, now you're going to bring games for Xbox Game Pass on PC, but try to get more profit
Yeah.
we bring your games to console as well, because you will have the I think they will have enough resources. Like even if World's Edge Studio, that I think is the one responsible for Age of Empires, is trying its best to bring the Age of Empires franchise to console, I think they will be able to do that as well, especially because they do have some games for it that
Well,
are available on console.
Halo Master Chief Collection has just got mouse and keyboard support in the new Flight. So if that can get mouse and keyboard support, why can't we get games that use mouse and keyboard? It
Yeah,
works. I mean, it
yeah, yeah,
just put a disclaimer saying you can only play this with a mouse and keyboard, but you can play it on your Xbox. Who doesn't have a
yeah.
USB keyboard or a USB mouse nowadays? Everyone has
Yeah,
one.
yeah, I know. I know what you mean, and I do have one, but I would prefer to play it on my controller. But
Oh,
that's
I
my taste.
understand, but if they wanted just to bring it out and they didn't want to put the work in, or they just can't, like they just realise it's shit, it don't work like it should, it's not as fun. Just put like give us Age of Empires on the Xbox and just say
Ah,
you
yeah,
can play this, but you've got to use a keyboard and mouse. I would. I
yeah,
mean, I know it's not ideal for everyone. I'm not saying it's perfect, but the Xbox supports it. They've even released their own official ones with Razer.
yeah. And they should try to do something with the
Yeah,
feature, right?
yeah. I
At
mean, I
least,
don't think they've given us a mouse and keyboard game since they announced that it was going to be mouse. They brought the mouse and fucking keyboard out. I use the mouse and keyboard on my PC, like my laptop, more than I use on my Xbox because there's just nothing that uses it. It was just literally like they announced it as to get good publicity, and then they've just not bothered with it since. So, but yeah, I
yeah,
love Age of Empires. I've played both of the re-releases, the HD ones on PC, but I would love to be able just to sit and play them on my Xbox. Even if that means just getting a wireless keyboard and mouse and just sitting with it on my knee, it's more comfortable than me having to come into my study room, getting all my console, like my laptop and everything set up, and my mouse and my mouse mat and all that shit out, and not being comfy,
hmm
having to put whereas with my Xbox, I could literally sit on my sofa with it on my knee playing, even if it's a mouse and keyboard on my knee. I don't have to rearrange my setup. So I don't care. I would like them just to do that, but I don't think they will. But it would be
it
nice to
will
have the
work.
option.
Yeah, especially because they should, as you said it, they should try to use more of the feature of keyboard and mouse
It's
on
just one of those
console.
Xbox things where it's not even just Xbox. It's like all consoles. They always announce these cool features that people want, and then they just half-ass put them in just to shut people up. They're not the only
Yeah,
console to do it.
that's fucked up. That's fucked
It's
up.
so annoying. It's the worst thing because people will then invest in it. Like I bought that keyboard and mouse. I needed a new mouse more than anything, so I thought, well, I'll get the keyboard and mouse. I can use it with my Xbox. Like I said, I think I've used it on like 3 games on Xbox and nothing else. I'm probably going to try it on Halo though, just to see what it plays like. But um, yeah, it's just one of those
Okay,
features that they
that's
said they're
going
going
to
to
be a
support.
fun playthrough.
I might not be shit then though. I might be all right.
It's going to be funny. At least it's going to be funny.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
let's move on because I could complain about this mouse and keyboard all day, and people don't want to hear me do that. But sort it out, Microsoft. That's all I'll say. Move on to some other news. We have got this isn't really anything of massive announcement. They've announced a new Demon Slayer game is coming to PS5, Xbox Series, Xbox One, and PC. So it doesn't say PS4, which is weird, but so it's PS5,
Funny.
Xbox One, PC, and Xbox Series X and S. I can't name what it
Okay,
says. It's Demon Slayer
okay, that's strange.
Kimetsu no Yaiba Hinokami Kapuntan or something like that. I don't watch Demon
Don't
Slayer.
try to say it.
I've never watched it, but it's nice to
Yeah,
see
me
that
neither.
more anime games are coming to Xbox because like I do like anime. Like I bought the Dragon Ball games. I've
Yeah.
bought the Sword Art games. But it is quite obvious half of these anime games do not come to Xbox normally. We get like the mainstream ones. We get like Attack on Titan, Dragon Ball, Sword Art. But other than that, like a lot of them never come over to Xbox. So to see, like Naruto, we always get Naruto on Xbox. But to see like Demon Slayer coming, I don't know if there's been one previously, but to see that there's another one, that's good. More anime games, please. There is people out there that
Oh
like them
yeah.
and play them. I don't mind playing them half of the time, but it's nice to have the option to at least buy them if I want to. So
It's more variety, right?
yeah, exactly. It's all about variety, and that is the one thing Xbox has lacked. I mean, if I jumped on my PS4 like and looked at their store, a third of the games on there are like indie anime Japanesey focused games that appeal to a different sort of crowd. And I understand they probably don't sell very well on Xbox compared, but they're never
hmm
gonna sell well and they're never gonna grow if Xbox doesn't at least support it and give it a push and even put some money behind it just to get people onto the system. If we keep getting games like this, we'll get more of them. I mean, who'd have thought if you'd have looked back 5 years ago, would you have thought we'd have had all the Kingdom Hearts, all the Yakuza, a Dragon Quest game?
Oh yeah.
It's unheard of. I mean, if we get Persona in the future, Jesus Christ, that's
Oh yeah, that will be
world's gone
huge.
mad. I mean, I don't even know what Persona is
Or
because I've never played it, but I know it's big.
especially if they bring back some more anime or more Japanese thing game like Japanese style games like Blue Dragon back and maybe a
Yeah.
sequel or Lost Odyssey.
Well, I tell you
That
what,
would
two
be
two games that I'd love
huge.
to get, the Nino Kuni games. I got them on PS3 and I bought the PC version of the second one because I didn't want to get it on PlayStation at the time. They
Nice.
are awesome games, but they've not come to Xbox. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
it's just a shame. And
Yep.
do you remember the 360? Used to get loads of stuff. We had Blue Dragon, Lost Odyssey, Eternal Sonata. There was loads of them, and then suddenly they just stopped. It was like Xbox just went, "Now we're not funding them anymore. We're not paying for
For
exclusivity
crying,
on them."
for crying out loud, the original Xbox had Jade's Empire.
Yeah, exactly. And we need to get them on so we can get more of this type. I mean,
Yes.
and they're only going to do it if Xbox either fund development or it's like a port of a one that's already out. But I'm quite happy to get it 6 months later if it means we eventually get it. I'd rather have it
Yeah.
day one, but yeah, at least we're getting stuff like that. So like we got that Kingdom Hearts 3 and the Kingdom Hearts Rhythm game day one on Xbox, which you would never have thought. So
Yeah. But like as always, variety is the most important stuff. So keep bringing it.
yes,
Just keep going.
yeah, keep bringing it. Stick it on Game Pass if you're worried, because it clearly works.
Exactly.
Honest,
For the love
honestly,
of God.
honestly, I mean, I will give everything a try nowadays. So I just want to see it keep growing and growing.
I don't know if there's some of the developers like to keep those IPs away from Xbox inside a vault or something like that, just
But
so
speaking of a
I don't
vault,
know. But speaking of a vault, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But I had to. How can I connect the topics for fuck's sake? But speaking of vaults, we have more details about the ZeniMax deal.
yeah,
So it was said that Microsoft is going to create a subsidiary called The Vault,
yeah,
and it's totally because of the ZeniMax acquisition. For those who don't know, we talked about this during the last episodes. Probably the ZeniMax acquisition is going to end on March or during the end of this month. I
yeah.
don't
I
know.
think I think the cutoff date is like the first week of March, so it could finish before then, but the EU Commission has got till sort of like the first week of March to object or say yes, it's fine. So I honestly think it'll probably finish before then, but there's a chance, like I say, worst case, it'll just continue. But basically, this
Yeah.
subsidiary company, this is normal. This isn't anything new. What it is they set it up as like a separate entity just to get it through the courts. And it even says on the documents, it says once it's all been set up, it'll then be closed back down and they'll all be folded into
Yeah.
Microsoft. Basically, it's a
People just
non-story. It's people were
yeah.
trying to use it as a way of saying they're all going to be multi-platform. It's not going under Microsoft. It's not. This is just business. It's just unfortunate. This is the first time we've seen such a massive company be bought out by people like this. But
Exactly.
this happens all the time. There's nothing new. There's nothing exciting. It's really boring, really. Oh,
People
we've set up
like
a dummy account just to get this paperwork filed so we can shut this dummy
but
account down.
but like I would say that it would be no and no. Don't think something like they are going to rename ZeniMax as the Vault Studios. No, they are. That's something just about that's a process that is going on during the acquisition until it's finished.
Yeah, it's
And
not
it's going
even
to end soon
anything.
enough.
But
But I gotta tell you, it would be. I really liked how this subsidiary is called. Why? Because ZeniMax, Bethesda, Fallout.
yeah,
I liked it.
I like that.
It
It's
was
it's
a good
nice that
connection.
they put a bit of a linkage in there, like I say, but it doesn't mean anything. It literally doesn't change anything. It doesn't
Yeah,
mean games are going to PlayStation or they're not going to PlayStation or
it doesn't. As
ZeniMax
well
is
as
not
it
going to be
doesn't.
part of Xbox. All it says is
Exactly.
they're going to be opening up a subsidiary company just to sort of get the ball rolling, and then they're going to shut that subsidiary down and merge everything into Microsoft. So it's a non-story. It's stupid yet again. Fanboys taking it way too seriously on Twitter when
As
none of them know
always, as
anything.
always, as always. Let's just hope they just shut the fuck up because
But
I
yeah,
can't deal with
but
it.
hopefully this means soon we're gonna have some news that it's all gone through or it's not gone through. I doubt that, but we're gonna have some actual news, and then we'll actually have something proper to talk about. And hopefully, once that deal's gone through, Phil better start talking because there's no excuse now. I mean, the only
Exactly. Is it
they
going to
can't
be
say what they're
exclusive or
doing
not?
because they don't own
Yeah,
it. As soon as that happens, as soon as they own it, they're going to be jumped on by everyone for interviews, and the news will start trickling out. It wouldn't surprise me if, as soon as they own Bethesda, like they've already got like a week after the deal goes through, they do like a show, and it's all about the Bethesda games and what the plan is. Like we'll talk about a bit about indie, we'll talk about Starfield, all whatever's coming out this year, what's coming out next year, what's going to be
nice.
exclusive and not. That's what I would like to see, whether they do, but it wouldn't surprise me. Answers all those people's
Nice, nice.
questions, do you know what I mean? All that sort of stuff.
And make everyone shut the hell up,
Yeah,
especially like
oh
just give us
man.
an answer, like a clear answer, or stop speculating. Please, fanboys, for the love of God, stop saying bullshits. Like
I'd love
there's
what
no
would Twitter be like though if they literally came out and went, apart from the games that are already on PS PlayStation, like Elder Scrolls Online, Fallout 76, and the upcoming games that we've got deals with, which I can't, Deathloop and Ghostwire or something, is it? Some Tokyo.
mm-hmm. Yep.
Everything's gonna be exclusive to Xbox. Oh man, could you imagine? Oh, it'd be so. I don't. Do you know what? I don't like gatekeeping because
Mhm.
PlayStation are the worst at it. No, not even. No, I say that Nintendo are the worst at it. Nintendo stop games that should be multi-platform becoming multi-platform.
Yeah,
PlayStation,
that's
you know
that's
what
bad.
PlayStation are like. They throw money about just to stop other people getting it. But normally, it eventually comes out. But
Yep.
I don't. But I get it from a business perspective. You've spent that much money, and they wanted to grow Game Pass. And Game Pass, yes, it's going well, but I think they wanted bigger numbers by now. Literally, they
For
wouldn't have.
sure.
They weren't going to ramp up Xbox Live Gold if they didn't want more numbers. So they've got like,
Especially because it was too much money spent on a single company for them just to this is going to be just a Game Pass deal. We
yeah,
spent
because I mean,
$7.5 million and we don't want to have anything exclusive for us.
yeah,
Like
because if they've spent that much money, right, and you want your games to be, yeah, being in Game Pass is a bonus, but a lot of people will still just stick with play. If you've already bought a PlayStation, you're going to be like, well, I'm not going to buy an Xbox for Game Pass. I've got my PlayStation. I can still get them.
exactly.
So it's some may come out. I bet a couple will, but I just don't see it. I don't think it's just not smart. If I was sat in that boardroom, I'd be like, what the fuck are you on about? Put them
Yeah,
Xbox
I agree.
exclusive. We want to sell some consoles. Oi, Phil boy.
I agree. I do
And it
agree.
wouldn't
Like
surprise me if it was like who's the guy Satya, head of Microsoft.
yes, Satya Nadella, I think
He
it's the name.
he bleeds money. He only wants money. He don't give a crap. He
He believes
he,
money.
he probably sleeps on a bed of coins and stuff like Scrooge McDuck. He only
Screwed
cares
my
about money.
eyes.
Literally. He's like, right, right, you sort that out, Phil. You sort Game Pass out, and then he takes his like robe off and he jumps in his vat of money and he has to swim.
Yeah,
They want money, and I don't. I get, yeah, putting them on other consoles will bring you some short term money, but the long term goal is Microsoft that wins. Whether they say it or not, Microsoft might not say there isn't a console war, but they don't. That's like saying Microsoft are like, well, we don't compete with Apple for for computers. Are you telling me if Apple
exactly.
outsold Microsoft, they'd be happy with that? It's a load of shit. The only reason
Yeah,
Xbox was built originally was because Bill Gates was worried that PlayStation was going to stop people from playing on PC. That was the big thing. The rumor was the
exactly.
PlayStation was going to be so powerful, like at the time, it was going to take people away from PC. So he said, right, you build a console, so we keep that money.
Exactly. Like
So
especially after the last generation, where
yeah,
PlayStation just outsold Xbox by millions.
yeah, double nearly. I think it probably were double in the end. And
They wanna be better. They wanna make it better this generation. There's no point for them to we acquire these studios, and this is going to be just a little deal like with EA. Why the hell would you buy them the full company
you won't, would
for
you?
price of money? That would be stupid. I'm not gonna lie, that would be really stupid. And for people that is saying that, but it's already worth it just because it's on Game Pass and like that. Okay, yeah, it's going to be worth it if it is on Game Pass. But still, was that was it necessary then for you to buy the whole company if you had no intention to make it
Yeah.
anything exclusive
They,
or any big
it would have been
titles
cheaper
exclusive?
just to get exclusive Game Pass deals.
Exactly.
So I'm not saying none of them will, but I honestly think if it was me, if I was in charge of Xbox, I'd be like, nah, you stayed on my platform. I mean, there's nothing to say in the future. I'm not saying like
Hmm.
after a year or two they won't come out on PlayStation, but I think they'll be like day one only on Xbox, and then maybe like, like Final Fantasy is going to be a
Maybe.
year on.
Yeah,
I don't even care about
yeah,
that.
I
That
know what you
makes
mean.
more sense to me. Make them exclusive and then eventually bring them out so everyone can play. You're not stopping people from playing. You're still the good guy, but those 90% of people want to play it as soon as possible. They don't want to wait a year.
Wait. Are you telling me that you are in favor of Microsoft doing their monopoly? What? That's so
It's the
absurd.
only
Let's
thing.
go
It's
to
the
the
only
next.
thing that makes sense business wise for me.
You make me sick. Sorry. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But I actually agree with you, and it
Good, because
makes
otherwise
sense.
I'd be joined next week by someone else.
You love. I know you love me. I know you love me. You wouldn't dare to put me out of this.
Oh, I'm sorry, your internet isn't
But
working right now.
again,
Mute, mute, mute.
let's see what happens. Let's see what
Yeah,
happens.
there's no point even. There's no one knows. They could totally change it up. Who knows? But I think
Again,
I
we
think
are
the
just
majority will
speculating.
be. I think the majority
Don't
would
take.
be exclusive. If it was up to me, it makes
Yeah,
more sense. Even if it's just like I say, making it like a year exclusive or a timed exclusive makes a lot more
for sure.
sense. But I don't think they'll be day one and on both consoles full all the time. It's just it doesn't make any
Yeah,
sense.
exactly, exactly. As well as it wouldn't make any sense. Like we are going to bring to both consoles, but on Xbox it's going to be cheaper.
Yeah,
No, that
yeah,
wouldn't work.
no.
It's good. It would be nice. It would be nice. Yeah, it would be awesome. Like we have really cheap games on it, awesome games for a really awesome price. But still, that would not sell any consoles. People are really considering paying $70
I had an
for
argument
the
with
new
someone on
games coming
Twitter
out.
the other day. I don't know if you saw it. So I said someone was literally trying to justify PlayStation putting the price up, and it's like
Ah,
there's no excuse for it. If their games cost that much to make, they need to figure out a way to make them better and at a more affordable
yeah,
rate. Because it's all well and good
yeah,
saying $70, but over in the UK they're 70 quid or 60,
yeah.
70
I know
quid.
what you
It's a
mean.
lot more expensive over here. And
I know.
to be fair, you could cover shit in glitter and serve it to a Sony fan and say it's 50 quid, but Jim Ryan says it's good, and they would still defend you for it. So
Again, we are not talking. We are not talking bad stuff about. If you are a Sony player or a Sony fan, PlayStation fan, whatever you call yourself, nice, good for you. We are just
the
talking
trolls and
about
the
the
dickheads online.
PS, the PlayStation toxic fanboys. That's the people that we are talking about right now. Okay, don't feel offended. If you felt offended, I'm so sorry, but we are not talking about you unless
Well, we
if you
might
are a
be.
toxic player. Unless if you are a toxic player. If you are a toxic fanboy, fuck you. I'm so sorry, but yeah.
But it's like
Simple as that.
it's like Ratchet and Clank. They've announced that it's coming out in June or July. 70
Hmm.
quid. The one that came out like 3 years ago was $40. Why is there a $30 increase? It's, I mean, yeah, it looks nicer.
Technology, maybe.
It's got a SSD power and it looks great. It's one of those games that I
Yeah,
will be picking up on a PS5 because it's one of
awesome.
the few games I really want, and I like the last Ratchet and Clank. But there's no reason for it to be nearly double the price. There's no excuse. You're just trying to rob your customers.
Yeah, that's
So
fucked up.
wait,
That's what,
we'll move on. We'll
unless the,
move on
like
because
unless a game proves otherwise. But yeah, let's
I
move
don't
on.
think any game's worth that much money.
Yeah,
No,
me neither.
it's but
Me neither. Me neither. We are losing the topic.
yeah. Moving on, moving on. So Red Dead Redemption is rumored to be getting a remaster.
Thank you. Thank fucking God. Oh, okay, that's awesome.
Now, will it?
Red
Is
Dead
it this?
Redemption
Now,
2
is this
is
going to be
so
like a
amazing.
full remaster or just like an improvement? Because the version on Xbox 360, like not Xbox 360, on like the Xbox One X and the up-resed version, like the improved one, the backwards compat one, looks amazing already on Xbox One X and
Yeah, yeah.
series consoles. Now, is this
That,
going to be a full remaster or is this going to
yeah,
be?
here's the thing. Here's the thing. I really am considering that they are going to make a full remaster. I don't think they are just going to make a port and that's it. Because Red Dead Redemption 1 was a game that it was released on the 360 era, and
Yeah,
then we only have it available right now through backwards compatibility. Okay?
yeah, yeah.
So it's not like it's a different situation if we compare with Grand Theft Auto 5 that was released on 360, was released on Xbox One, and is going to be released on the next gen consoles. This is going to be a remaster that is going to be a game that skipped one generation. And I think that if they intend to bring it back, especially for how well received and how amazing was Red Dead Redemption 2, I think they need to make a full remaster. That it would be such a betrayal from Rockstar to just okay, let's just get Red Dead Redemption 1 and let's make the ports for the next console and that's it. There we go. No, that would be really fucked up, and that's why I was kind of betrayed when they announced once again, GTA 5
Do you
to
know
the
what?
next
GTA 5 is
generation.
not even the best GTA. It's just the one that makes them the most money. It's
My favorites
Vice
will
City.
always be. No, I do agree with that Vice City is like one of the best, but I really enjoy San Andreas. I
Do you know
really
what?
loved it.
I never liked San Andreas. Do you know what?
Really?
I'd say I don't like it. I enjoyed it. I played it through, but I really loved 3
Mm-hmm.
more than Vice City. But over time, Vice City has become my favorite. Just the soundtrack is better, and the people and the settings. But at the time, I loved 3, and I got San Andreas. And I just thought it was too big at the time, and it just was a bit. It felt empty in some areas, but not in a. It's a weird way to say it. I preferred the sort of smaller aspects of the like Vice City and stuff like that. I think it got too big with San Andreas, but I would
Yeah,
definitely.
I
I
know what you
still
mean.
play it. I've got it on Xbox
Mm-hmm.
360. I've got that port of it, and it's not bad. But I would love a Vice City remaster, exactly the same game, just with like up-res graphics and
Yeah,
achievements.
that would be nice.
You'd have me because I love both of them, 3 and Vice City. And Andreas, like I say, if they ever brought that back out again, I'd probably replay it through at least in story mode. I probably wouldn't spend as much time on it as the others, but
I actually San Andreas. I love it because of the cheat codes. There
yeah.
was some really crazy shit you could do during that game, and that's why I just love it. I grew up playing that game
I used to
just
have
because of the cheat codes.
I used to love Grand Theft Auto 3 on PC because you could mod it. So I had like all the real world cars and all these extra stuff. It was
Nice.
so ace. It was such a good. I used to love those. Love them. I need to get back
Since
in.
you are talking about cars,
Yeah. Oh, these segues are going in today.
We are going to lose some followers.
We have followers.
Oh yeah, for sure. Who are we speaking with? But like it was announced that Forza Horizon 4 is going to receive a Hot Wheels update. It seems like we were having speculations of a new DLC with levels like the Forza Horizon 3 DLC, Hot Wheels DLC, and drums, please, if we can. And it's going to be just a car pack.
Yeah, it's Legends Car Pack, supposedly. And
Why?
it's going to
Why?
include. Uh, it's like 6 cars in it. Do you know what? It makes sense. I mean,
Would it?
if Forza Horizon 4 is meant to come out at end of the year, rumored,
Mm.
why would you bring out a new expansion for Forza Horizon 4? It makes sense. I'm gutted because the Hot Wheels DLC is awesome in the Forza Horizon 3. It's such a good DLC, but I understand it does suck though because they got everyone's hopes up, sort of like
It is a shame, especially of how amazing that DLC was. It
yeah.
really like imagining like Forza Horizon 3 is already a pretty fucking well looking game. It looks amazing. The visuals of that game are awesome. But Forza Horizon 4, it's better for me in terms of visuals.
Yeah,
I would
the only
love
problem with
to play
four is, I think the problem with four is that it looks better. It's got a better graphics and everything, but it's because
that.
it's set in England. It's not as exciting to look at as
Yeah,
sort of
it's not
like
as yeah,
Australia and like the European sort of like coastal
yeah,
cities like Monaco and that. And
I know what you
it
mean.
really suits it. It's such and I know I love the fact that it was in England and it's got a bit of British in it and stuff like that. But I do love the especially Forza Horizon 3 with all like the palm trees and everything. Oh man, it's such a stunning game. Especially now didn't they bring out a 1XX update for Forza Horizon 3 as well,
Yeah,
like last year, and that was beaut as well. So um,
but like
yeah,
I think that some Hot Wheels levels will make it more exciting.
yeah, because I
Especially
mean
with
the Lego thing was good on Forza 4, but
no, it was awesome.
the
I
what
just love it.
it wasn't as good as the Hot Wheels DLC.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
But you can't have everything. But that not being a DLC, like that being just a car pack and not like an expansion, makes me think that there's going to be a Horizon sooner rather than later. If it had been a DLC, if it had been like an expansion, I don't think we would have got another Horizon this year.
Yeah, maybe,
I'm
but like
honestly surprised though. Why don't they just expand Horizon 4 and add new places to go? Like instead of doing a new game, just make a massive new island. Like
so.
that makes
Here's
more
what I think.
sense.
Here's what I think. I think they intend to do that on Forza Horizon 5.
It wouldn't
I
surprise me
really
the
think
way
that
everything's going to like live service games. But if it's done
exactly.
right, I would rather have one game that works and gets regular updates and like especially with stuff like a car game and um like sports games. I don't think you need to have a brand new version every year or 2 years. Just tweak it, make it a bit better, bring out new content, especially with Forza Horizon because it's so over the top and they can do what they want. They can like we'll have Hot Wheels if we want, we'll have Lego if we want. Do you know what I mean? We'll have
Yeah,
a Scottish island full of hurricanes and stuff if we want. I'm all
yeah,
for um
yeah, for sure, for sure. But again, I really think that they intend to do that with Forza Horizon 5, especially because Forza Horizon 4 was not, I think, at least in my opinion, I think it wasn't released with the objective of let's do a live service game
no,
as we've been.
exactly, yeah.
So I think they are okay. We are going to do this, but we are going to make it on a brand new game. and that's it. And that's what I think that is going to happen as well with Forza Motorsports, as well as with State of Decay, because State of Decay 2 is receiving a until until to this day a ton amount of content.
Yeah,
And
exactly. So much, so many
uh,
new areas, new.
exactly. And State of Decay 3, I think, is going to be even better and even bigger because it's going to have a bigger budget. It's going to have a bigger team working on it, and it's going to have a bigger focus on live service gaming.
Yeah,
Uh,
for sure, definitely.
Halo is going to do that
Yeah,
as well. So
it's the future, unfortunately. But if they do it well, like Sea of Thieves works well, State of Decay works well. So I have hopes. But one company that doesn't give us high hopes anymore. Nice.
nice.
Right, I'm going to let you take this one as well because I've just literally just got to sort something for like 2 seconds. So I apologise, but I'll let you get
Okay,
started.
no worries. So this is a company that just receives a red alert. Let's just say that. Just kidding. But for those who don't know, during I think it was during the beginning of this week, City Project Red was hacked, and man, what the heck was going on? Like, suddenly, all of the sudden, nothing happened. It just got hacked. And here's what they said. They just released an official note saying, yesterday we discovered that we have become a victim of a target cyber attack due to which some of our internal systems have been compromised. An unidentified actor gained unauthorized access to our internal network, collected certain data belonging to City Project's Capital Group, and left a handsome note of the content of which we release to the public. Although some devices in our network have been encrypted, our backups remain intact. We have already secured our IT infrastructure and begun restoring the data. We will not give in to the demands nor negotiate with the actor, being aware that this may eventually lead to the release of the compromised data. We are taking necessary steps to mitigate the consequence of such a release, in particular by approaching any parties that may be affected due to the breach. We are still investigating the incident. However, at this time, we can confirm that, to our best knowledge, the compromised system did not contain any personal data of our players or users of our service. That's good to know. We have already approached the relevant authorities, including law enforcement and the president of the Personal Data Protection Office, as well as the IT forensic specialists. And we will closely cooperate with them in order to fully investigate this incident. Here's the note of the hacker for what they just said. And it says, hello CD Projekt. You have been epically pounced. We have dumped full copies of the source codes from your performance service for Cyberpunk 2077, Witcher 3, Went, and the unreleased version of Witcher 3. We have also dumped all of your documents relating to accounting, administration, legal, HR, investor relations, and more. Also, we have encrypted all of your service, but we understand that you can mostly recover from backup. If we will not come to an agreement, then your source codes will be sold or leaked online, and your documents will be sent to our contacts in gaming journalism. Your public image will go down the shitter even more, and people will see how you shitty your company functions. Investors will lose trust in your company, and the stock will dive even lower. You have 48 hours to contact us.
You can tell that's a British hacker, can't you?
Yeah,
Down the
maybe.
shitter, down the shitter. That's definitely a British thing to say.
Like an actor, really? Who is this guy? They said nothing about that. They just said nothing about it. And man, it's so sad to see the falling of big giants like City Project Red. For one moment, they were the most well-beloved company of all the industry, and now they are being hated by everyone else.
Yeah,
That's a shame. That's really a shame, especially because they are a really awesome studio with really great games. The Witcher 2 to Witcher 3.
yeah,
And okay, sure, we do have some problems with Cyberpunk, but I'm sure that if the game works correctly, it's going to be a nice game as well. And like with all the things that has been going, would you say that they will be able to recover themselves to become big again, or do you think that the only option is probably being acquired by someone?
it depends what they do with the games. Like one good game makes everyone forget all the crap beforehand, but they put all the chips onto Cyberpunk and it backfired. So
Yeah.
uh, we'll see, we'll see. I mean, I'd hope that they uh, they come back because people like their games, but
Yeah.
yeah, who knows? Like I say, I would like to think they will, but mm, we'll not know till the next game comes out. Or because, like I say, some people love Cyberpunk. They say it's game of the year, favorite game. But
Mm-hmm.
what for me, I'm not playing it until the next gen patch comes out or the next gen edition,
Yeah.
and they haven't
I'm
even
with you.
they
And
haven't.
I'm not and I'm not playing the game until I get the next gen console and get the updates, because they say that it only works well on at least the Series S or the Series X. For sure, it works better as well on PS5, but since we are an Xbox focused podcast,
Yeah, I mean, and they've delayed the next gen update version now, haven't they? So um,
yeah.
I'm not. Do you know what? Meh, we'll see how it goes. Will they come back from it? Probably. It's going to take time. They still own GOG, so they've got all the good
It's
stuff from
it's
that.
it's just a really big shame of what's going on.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
uh, like it's really sad, especially because they have a really big passion on what they do, and you can see that in their games. But Cyberpunk, I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was how they decided to the administration. I don't know if it was their planning. I don't know if they just got the pressure from angry fanboys saying release the game or I will kill you. I don't know. We just wish the best for them and let's hope they recover. It
yeah,
will bring
exactly.
a
Which you never want
really
to see people
awesome
get
game.
shut down or go bust or it all
For sure.
crumble. But they've been to the top now, and there's only like you can't always be the top, the most prestigious, the best loved company forever.
Exactly.
Once you're at the top, you get all the crap, and then you go down, and then you get all the good stuff, and you go back up again. It's just like a horrible
And
cycle, unfortunately for them.
this is just what happened with that just happened as well with Ubisoft. It just happened with Bethesda, and it's never going to happen with EA because they were always awful. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you know what? What baffles me is Ubisoft had a bloody sexual like abuse scandal where they were like treating the
uh,
and everyone seems to have forgotten that just because they put out some bangers at end Christmas. It's true though, isn't
yeah,
it? When did Ubisoft become like the best developer for like third party recently? I mean, have you
exactly.
seen? Did you see that news where supposedly they're restructuring and they're going to be focusing on mobile games and cutting back on big open world? I'm like,
Oh yeah, I saw
did
that.
they not just
I
make a
saw
ton
that.
of money from giant open world games? And now they're
And
like, yeah, we don't need that. We just need that sweet, sweet mobile money.
And since you talked about it, since you mentioned it, this is one of our topics here. They are working with Tencent. I think it's the company that owns the developers of PUBG, I think, and and they are working to make an Assassin's Creed mobile game. Will that
Yes.
work? I don't know.
It depends how
Would
what
that,
type of game is it? An open world Assassin's Creed game? Is it
yeah,
gonna
is it a
be like a
platform game?
2D? Is it gonna be? Yeah, I mean, it all depends how it plays, and there isn't any real information out there at the moment. But
Yeah,
I
I think it was
assume
just a meeting that they decided to give us more details about
probably,
their mobile strategy or something like that.
but I'm assuming it's going to be sort of China based because that'll sell to
Maybe,
the Chinese market. So who knows? Who
maybe.
knows? It's hard to say, but I'm interested. I mean, some games work really well on mobile, so it may work, but it may be terrible. As long as it's not stupidly microtransaction, though, I think we'll be all right.
Maybe it's going to be, but not that overwhelming as
Yeah,
some
true,
games
true.
are. Especially, it depends on if the game is going to be free to play or is going to be paid.
Yeah,
That
well,
depends, and a lot. So, should we move to the next topic then?
yeah.
I sincerely don't have anything else to talk
No,
about
no.
this mobile game. I
Until we
just
know
think
more,
it's exactly. I just think it's interesting,
I'm just
and
seeing. Yeah,
let's see what happens.
the picture looks very sort of,
Generic. I'm not gonna lie. I hated the picture. It
but
seems
it
like
does look like it's based in
generic.
Asia. It's an Asian looking. It's
Oh
got the
yeah.
Asian the buildings and stuff. So it's definitely going to be that side of the world, and it makes sense. But I wish we'd got
Oh yeah.
a full like Japanese or Chinese or that sort of Asian style looking Assassin's
Yeah,
Creed on a
yeah.
proper
I know
console.
what you mean. I'm not gonna lie, but when I saw this image for the first time, if I didn't know that this was going to be really a Noobsoft and Tencent's collaboration to make a Assassin's Creed mobile game, the first thing that I thought when I saw this image was, "Holy crap! They are making a bootleg
Yeah, it
of
looks like a
Assassin's Creed."
bootleg. It looks like one of those adverts you see on Apple Store or
Exactly.
Android for like Assassin's Creed or something like that.
Like the name would be the Creed of Assassins, something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it does look like a cheap like a cheap knockoff or Chinese knockoff, doesn't it?
Rip-off.
Yeah,
We are making a rip-off game, and then Ubisoft said, "No, actually, this is our game." Sorry about that.
that's where all the funding for Prince of Persia went. Obviously, remaster to shit.
They do intend to bring some of their AAA IPs to mobile as well. Not just Assassin's Creed, but we can be sure that it's going to be something Watch Dogs related.
Oh, probably. Watch Dogs could work though, like a
For
weird
sure.
sort of. Watch Dogs would work really well, like Pokemon Go, like the
Yeah.
geo-based sort of thing. But
Yeah.
don't tell them that because they'll make it then, and we'll have to suffer it. Right, moving on.
Fair enough.
Moving on from
Moving on now.
knockoff
This is
Assassin's Creed.
a this is actually a depressing news. This is this is depressing news. I gotta say, that is Halo Wars 2. It's not gonna have any more new content updates, and people seem to be mad about it. Why?
They took our DLC. I've no
Like
idea.
guys,
It's a game that's been out for years. They
yeah,
haven't done
like
anything on it in ages. They've just finally come out and said, "Well, we're actually not doing no else."
but like this is it is a really nice game. It is a
Oh
really
yeah,
well
yeah,
done
definitely.
game, really fun for sure. But guys, just now they announced that it's not gonna have any more future updates. I lost the my game Bleeding Edge just died less than a year. What are you talking about?
Don't lie, don't lie. Just because they're not doing anything on it, don't mean it's dead. It's just best friends with
uh,
Stadia nowadays. That's all.
yeah, maybe. But like, here's the thing: the the problem is not with the updates. The problem, in my opinion, is that they said that they don't have any plans to make a Halo Wars 3. And here's the thing. I don't think that's true. I think they will make Halo Wars 3 eventually, but after Halo Infinite, because they want to make Halo Infinite right. I think that's the. I think it's not necessarily like we there is never going to be a Halo Wars 3. I just think that right now we are not thinking about doing anything else because we are giving focus on bigger projects.
Yep.
What would you say about that? And people should be mad. Like I
Yeah,
don't know
I
if
do you know
people
what?
are
I
mad.
don't care. I've not played Halo Wars 2. I played 1 and it was alright. I'll probably play 2. I want to play 2. It's on but
Two is way better. You can be sure. It's
it's on my list of
way,
I'll get round to it at some point, but I didn't
especially
expect them to
because
make any more DLC or support it. I didn't even realise they still were.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I
I know
mean,
what you
it
mean.
sucks they're not making a number 3 just yet. But what they said was like 343 aren't making it. You never know. Someone else might make one at some point. You just don't know.
Yeah,
But there's it, they're already working on Halo stuff. Let's get that out and actually playable and good before.
and get that exactly. And hope that they get it right.
Yeah, and
They
just
show us stuff and release it right
and ignore
instead
all
of
the dickheads on Twitter yet again going, "Oh, Xbox Phil Spencer's cancelling another game." He's not cancelled though. They ever once announced Halo Wars 3? No, they're just saying right
yeah,
now people keep asking and we're not working. I believe this is probably due to wasn't there a rumor last week that 343 were working on something Halo, but it wasn't a mainline Halo game as well. They were working on another project.
yeah.
So they probably just come out and that saying, well, don't get your hopes up for Halo Wars 3 because it probably isn't going to be. Yeah, just people, just stupid trolls trying to get ones up over
Exactly.
crap.
As always,
Over
as
Halo
always.
Wars 3, no one cares. Halo
Like
Wars was alright. Halo Wars 2 was better, but it's not like they're pumping out DLC every week for it. It's not had out for
exactly.
ages.
And like it's not necessarily as no one cares. It's Halo. Everyone end up caring somehow, but still, what is the nowadays? What is the first thing you think about when someone says Halo?
Infinite
It's Halo
on Master
Infinite,
Chief
right?
Collection, yeah.
So why would you give a bigger focus to Halo Wars 3 than to give to a mainline game like Halo Infinite? Especially with the open world sandbox features that they are promising to us.
Yeah, exactly. I just find it odd.
It's just toxic players being toxic players and fanboys being stupid. Simple as that. Wait for announcements. Just wait for announcements, and then you can criticize something. When we have absolutely nothing, there's nothing to criticize. What are you talking about?
Hmm.
And speaking of announcements, we
Yes.
do have we do have as well something that is, as you know, E3. We had absolutely nothing. Yesterday, last year, we had absolutely nothing from the E3 event. And it was a shame, but thank God we had the really nice online events from both PlayStation and Xbox. Thank God for that, and really well done. And here's the thing: is that we are going to have a digital E3.
Yes. Yes. Thank God.
So how would that work? I
I I
actually,
I just want everything to be like exactly what we had last year, like the
mhm,
videos and the stuff like that, the presentation. Just put them all on one bloody week or 2 weeks. The fact they dragged them out and they sort of cut them up, so you could tell some of the earlier shows that took stuff out to spread it out over the year. It doesn't work. And then they were drip feeding stuff like, oh, we'll tease you with this, we'll put this, we'll have Summer Game Jam, we'll have Jeff Keighley's whatever else
yeah,
jam, we'll have Jeff Grubb's Summer of Games and stuff. I mean, they're good, but I like E3. I like the fact that it's just a week solid. You know when it is, and you sit there for a week, and we get absolutely flooded with all the news. We know when the news is coming, because it's
hmm
E3. They always bring it out. Whereas last year, you were just sat around waiting, like, is this going to be a good one? And people get all the hopes up, and then they're like, yeah, no, it's just we're just talking about this shit today. or we're
Yeah,
going to talk about this, or we're going to do a blog post. I know people don't like E3, but last year has shown us that we need something like E3 where all of them, it doesn't have to be E3, but we need something where all of the publishers and that pump their shit out on the same week, all the news, all the reveals, all the big stuff, all on one
for
week,
sure.
and then share some more stuff through the rest of the year. But oh my god, I absolutely hated it. I
Yeah,
hated it.
yeah, I
I
know what you
just
mean.
I just want that. I like staying up for that like one weekend and like binging from like Microsoft on Friday all the way over
Yeah,
the weekend. I love it. I absolutely love it. And it was absolutely rubbish because I'd stay up late for these bloody shows, and they were crap. And then Sony did that one where I don't even think they showed a new game. They just showed the same shit from the last one as well. And you're like, what are
yeah,
we
yeah.
wasting our time for
Like
here? They just
we
weren't. They
did
were
have
hyped up to not be anything.
some both from both sides one at least one good events that they showed some more stuff, but some of the other events that they made were really
Yeah,
really
exactly.
a fame.
I just
People just speculating like there's going to be a new acquisition, there's going to be this, there's going to be that. Like, just give us a feedback and let's be totally certain that there's going to be big games being announced or big things being announced for the Christ Almighty. And let's
yeah,
hope
it's
PlayStation becomes part of E3 this time, because again, right? During what the 2 last years, we had nothing from PlayStation during free for
I
some
can't
reason.
remember, but I like the fact that that week and around that event, even if they don't do an E3 show, they pump out all the big. That's when they're going to give you the big hitters.
Yeah,
Like it was either there or he was at the Game Awards. And look at the Game Awards last year. The Game Awards, other than Perfect Dark, which wasn't even that good a reveal because it was just a trailer, like a CGI trailer, that was the best news we had. There was nothing. There was no big reveals. I mean, there was some stupid rumors, Silent Hill, all that crap. None of it came to
yeah.
fruition. Whereas if we had E3,
Hmm.
you would know, you're going into it knowing you're going to get something good, or you should. If they don't, then that's their own stupid fault. But you always go into E3 knowing they're going to bring out the big guns, the big games, the best announcements, Keanu Reeves. You know what I mean? You're going to get something good.
Keanu Reeves is one of the best announcements that we have during the free.
Yeah, exactly. I just think it's
Fair
stupid.
enough.
It's
That's
absolutely
fair
odd.
enough.
And I don't understand.
Uh,
I hated it being split up over the year, and you could tell obviously COVID had a big effect, and I understand that, but they pumped it about they do you know what I mean, they pushed stuff, they rearranged it, you could tell, so it was very odd,
yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you
and it
mean.
was just every single one of them was a letdown in one way or another. I never
Yeah,
came out of watching any of
somehow.
them thinking, holy shit. There was that one Xbox one where they showed a ton of games off, and I was like, 95% of these interest me. But I didn't feel like hyped about it as much as I just think I was burnt out by then as well.
As
So
much as an E3 would make it, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Let's hope. Let's just hope that this is going to be a bigger, better, and less dubious game as the events as the other ones were. For
yeah,
the
like I
love
said,
of
I
God.
mean, we don't even know if anyone's actually going to be part of it or what they're going to do yet. They're just saying they're planning on a digital event, but who
Who
knows? But
the,
I do miss
the
E3, and I can't wait for the stage shows to come
yeah,
back when obviously everyone's
me too.
vaccinated and back to normal or back to a safer sort of life. But yeah, there's nothing better than seeing like a high up executive walk out on stage and make an ass of himself with a shit
Exactly.
announcement. Ridge Racer.
Blizzard.
Do you know what I mean? It's just funny. What was that one where they had
We
the
just lost two chances of sponsorship from Blizzard and EA. But
but
who else are we going to be put on the blacklist? Let's think about it.
but yeah, I just love it. I love it, and it's the best. As a gamer, I actually look forward to that every year. And last year sucked. I kept getting my hopes up, and they weren't. It just wasn't. There wasn't one E3 worthy show. I mean, the only one that sort of felt a bit higher than the rest was the PlayStation one, and that was literally because they announced what it looked like and the price. And other than that, if you took that out of the presentation, that wasn't at an E3 level either. It's just
Yeah,
at
for
least it
sure.
had that it just had that, at least it had that boom. We're going to tell you the price in a show and not just post it on Twitter like Microsoft did. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like we had the PlayStation 5 announcements with showing the console, and we have the Xbox game showcase from the other sides, and they were pretty good, but not as exciting as the like they were exciting, but if it was a during an E3, it would be way better, and the other events that we had were pretty bad, as you said. That's a fact.
yeah, exactly. So and that's my opinion. Like I say, I'm looking forward to it, but we'll see. We'll see what they actually announce.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And about announcements and maybe becoming bad things, I don't know. Anthem. Do you remember Anthem?
Yes, yes. Unfortunately,
So,
the game that
i-
had so much promise and failed on
is
all
it
of it.
is it that
I
or
thought
not?
it was dead.
We thought it was that.
I mean, still people still play it, and I know they basically gutted that team and they put it on sort of like a life support skeleton crew to sort of try and turn it around. And they'd announced that the developers who were still on it had announced they were working on like it was going to get like a version 2, sort of like a rebirth. They were going to tweak it and change a few things. While it's be the same game in principle, it's going to be what it should have been, and they were gonna change the way they were doing it to make it be able to be updated more often, and this, that, and the other, and blah blah blah. Well, yeah, now EA are having a discussion this week, from what I can gather.
Yeah, if they will continue or cancel.
Yeah,
Anthem 2.0.
yeah. So basically, they're going to look. From what I've gathered, is they're going to be looking at the stuff that the team's done, and probably the stuff we haven't seen that the team are working on, and they might be
Mm-hmm.
doing presentations about the plan, and then they're going to make an
And see,
executive decision whether Anthem is going to get the money and the funding and the teams to pump it out and save it,
they
or
will
if they're just going to shut it down or just
they,
put it on
they
life
will take a
support like
look at
Bleeding Edge.
they will take a look on all these new features that the developer team made it, and it wasn't released yet, and start thinking, how can we make microtransactions from that? Can we make it nice? So we will continue. Can we?
Do you know what?
Oh,
If it
if
had been a free
we
to
are not
play
possible,
game,
okay, so shut down.
this we wouldn't be
Yeah,
having this conversation, because it's, do you know what, the core principles of it, the flying and that are fun, but
yeah, I
it's a
know,
lot of
I know.
it was a lot of money for not a lot. So
Here, here's the thing. I think Anthem is a worth to play game, but especially if you buy it on a really big fat sale. Simple as that. Don't
you can get
pay.
it in EA Play now, can't you? I believe.
Yeah, I believe as well. So if it is available on the EA library, EA Play library, so definitely check it out just so you know what we're talking about, because it's not all bad in Anthem. That's a fact. There is some effort there. Some of it are really a bunch of bullshit. But still, I think it would be. It is a little fun game to enjoy for a while, especially solo, because co-op. It seems that there is being still having the loading screen problems. I don't know. I haven't checked that yet. I need to take a look and see what happens. I don't know if the next gen console something changed about the loading screens, but I think it would be nice for them to let's keep going. Like give something for Bioware. Bring them back. Make them a big update. Make them like tell them to make a big update to say I'm sorry. At least I hate the fact that you made a game that it wasn't that good, and that's it. Go on, make the next game. So like, no, if you go and make the next game and don't try to fix the errors of the first game, the next game is going to be bad as well. I, there's no points for me. There's no
Mm.
points in my opinion to like. We released Anthem. It had some features that we said that it was going to have it, and it doesn't, and that's a bad thing. Yeah. So should we now keep going to update this and bring it back? I think it should. I really think it should, just so you can say I'm sorry about it. I hate the fact of players saying like, go to the next game and make it better. No, 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 no. Start here. Start here. If you fucked up, fix it, and then you go back to a new game and don't fuck it up. I think that would be
I
way
get where you're
better.
coming from, but then obviously they don't want to spend money that they could then spend on.
Yeah.
It'll all be
Well,
down to numbers. I'd be interested to see if the player base increased after it went on EA Play, though.
but like, here's the thing. I think I'm talking about the players' opinions. I'm not necessarily saying about E3.
Yeah, yeah.
E3, no, EA. I would say like EA has a different thought process. They are all about numbers and money. That's a fact. But in when we are talking about like you go ask the opinions of the players, we will receive some answers like, yeah, they should try to make something, or no, just go to the next game and that's it, let it die, and that's it. Like, I don't like this type of thought, but I do respect it.
No, I get what you're saying, though. Yeah, it's a tough one, but I'm sure we'll find out exactly what they feel like and what the plan is going forward
Yeah.
anyway at some point. So we shall see, won't we?
Oh yeah, for sure. One can only hope that EA is going to release any, or BioWare is going to release an official note saying that the game is dead or they're just going to continue. And like, not just stay silent forever.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. Yeah, we we can just pray for those people that are really into it that they do decide to keep it around. But I
Yeah,
honestly don't know. I don't think it's looking good.
yeah, probably is going to die. Let's just see if the servers are going to be online. I don't know.
We'll do a
Let's just hope for that.
farewell stream.
Maybe we could try it. We could try it. But speaking of things that are going forward and are doing well, we do have some Minecraft Dungeons news.
Yep, yep. Good news.
So, bear with me a second. Let me go check it out because we do have the announcements of the next DLC that is coming. We are going to be heading to Nether this time, and it's going
Yep,
to be released on February 24th.
yep.
Flames of Nether is the name of the expansion. And again, let's just hope that they made a new achievement system so we don't spend the rest of our lives grinding for it. For fuck's sake, I hate the grinding from that game. I'm so sorry. I love it when I started. I love it when I stand. But during the DLCs and to get the achievements, it's really a chore.
Yeah, the gameplay itself's fun, but they've started to make the achievements more grindy, haven't they? So it takes a bit of the fun out of it. So we actually I haven't played it since we played it like a month ago. But as soon as the
Oh yeah,
DLC comes out, we'll jump back in, play through the DLC, and then probably clear a few more of the achievements of the older achievements off as well. So
yeah, for sure. And
uh,
as well as they just announced that they have 10 million players and counting.
yeah, so what they've said is the community has reached 10 million players across all supported platforms, which is really good to say this isn't a main Minecraft game, it is a spin off.
Exactly.
So it launched in May 2020. It's had 10 million players over Switch, PS4, Xbox One, and Series, and PC. Um, it also says that the boss, the Arch Illager, has been defeated nearly 6 million times. So out of those 10 million players, a large amount of them have probably at least played to the end of the game. I mean, you've probably beat him twice.
Mm,
So I mean,
yeah,
That's still
Yeah, I know what
crazy.
you mean.
But because of that, they are going to be doing something. So it says all those impressive stats, because they list a load of stats off, and I'll not go through them all because it's just stuff like 141 years have been spent in combined total in the camp and all that sort of stuff. But so behind each of these astronomical numbers, are each and every one of our players. To celebrate reaching this monumental milestone, we're releasing a new cape and a pet for our players. It's a small way to say thank you for being the best community out there and saving the overworld over and over again. And these items will be available in your inventory from February 24th as part of a free game update releasing on the same date. So you get like a hero cape, which is a bit like Raggedy based on the picture, and it looks like you get a little piggy pet as well.
Okay, you
And
got.
that's going to
Okay,
be for
I'm interested.
everyone who plays from February 24th. And is that when the DLC comes out? Did you say February 24th?
Yeah.
So not only is the DLC coming out, which is double the size as well of the last DLC. So instead of it being
Thank God
3
for that.
levels, it's going to be 6 levels, from what I've read.
Thank God for that. Nice.
But they're also bringing out a new free game update as well, which adds some new content, new types of challenges and stuff like that. So basically, something new to keep you playing regularly. So
Nice.
even if you don't own the season pass for the DLC, you'll still be able to get the free cape and the pig pet, and you're going to still be able to play all the new free updates on all the levels that currently are out there. So definitely play. And honestly, if you know someone who owns the season pass, if you play co-op with them, you can play the game and all the season pass levels as long as you're playing with someone who already owns it. You don't have to buy it, which I didn't know about, but it doesn't bother me anyway. The season pass is so cheap. But for
Oh yeah,
those
for
so
sure.
those who are financially challenged and want to play, or say you've got kids and you don't want to be buying them all DLC, if they've got a friend who's got the DLC, as long as they're playing co-op with them, they're able to access the DLC levels,
Yeah, yeah.
and they're
That's
worth
nice.
playing because they're some of
I
the best
really
levels
did.
in the game.
I didn't know that. I actually am kind of surprised that that was possible.
No, someone told me about it.
Nice.
I haven't tested it because obviously I own it, but from what I've been told,
Yeah.
reliably, if you play, as long as you're in the party and the party leader has the season pass, everyone can play those levels while they're with them. Obviously, if you leave that party, you wouldn't be able to then play them unless you buy them.
Okay,
But
we could try and see if Alucard is available for us to test.
yeah, we'll try and test this within the next couple. Maybe we'll do it when the new DLC comes out then, and we'll test it then because I don't think I'll be playing it until then. But
Yeah,
we'll
for
we'll
sure,
we'll
for
try when the
sure.
new DLC comes out, check it, and let everyone know. And we'll also give you our thoughts on the DLC. I can't wait. Honestly, I love it's such a simple and easy to play game.
Yeah,
But it's one of those games that I don't want to keep playing the same stuff over and over again, especially when we were trying to find the secret levels and they
yeah.
randomly spawn,
They
so
are
you could play the same
exactly.
level 10 times just to find one entrance because they're generated. So yeah,
And only
I didn't
for
like that.
and only for 10 gamer score.
Yeah, it's not worth it. Not
That's
worth it.
weird. And speaking of fucked up, go on. You can.
Can I
I
do
leave
this
it
one?
to tell me that. Ah,
I'm trying to find out what we're on to now. I'm just having. It says Goldeneye 007. So, yes, not 100.
ah.
Oh, I'm trying to find the thing. So, yeah, here it is. Yeah. So, I mentioned this
I'm
last
trying to
week.
find words.
Yeah. So, I mentioned this last week that I had
Probably
heard that
it was
the
Nintendo's fault that we didn't have anything.
yeah was the GoldenEye remake sort of remaster where it flicked between the original N64 graphics and updated ones that was slated to come out on Xbox and Nintendo, and then it all went tits up and never happened. It basically has come out. One of the developers or a couple of the developers who worked on it have said that there was only 90 bugs left, so it was pretty much ready to
Mhm.
go. They were just on the last few bug fixes,
Yeah.
and the reason it was cancelled was Nintendo. So
I just prefer to not give any opinions because we are probably going to be hated by Nintendo as well. So maybe we should just move forward.
Yeah, there has been an update on the original. So this was on Ars Technica. I've never heard of it before, but I found it, and it was quite an interesting read. So it was basically they talked to a bunch of developers about it, and they explained
Mm-hmm.
how it came about really, and the behind the scenes, and it is really interesting.
Oh yeah,
Um,
for sure.
but it has been since updated that the Rare dev Chris Tilston, who was co-lead on the remaster, he claims that the project began life when Nintendo made a phone call offer to Microsoft and Rare. So they instigated it. The handshake was contingent on Nintendo releasing a version of the original GoldenEye 007 on Wii. So
Mm-hmm.
and Rare releasing their updated version on the 360. So
Mm-hmm.
exactly what happened with Nintendo version remains unclear, nor whether any negotiations followed up between Nintendo and Activision to pave the way for obviously they brought out a GoldenEye game on the Wii in 2010 and it was crap. But so weirdly, it sounds like Nintendo originally planned for it and asked for it, but maybe because they wanted the original GoldenEye on the Wii store, the Wii Virtual Console, but maybe
Mm-hmm.
they got wind that Rare was making a better version and then kicked up a bit of a fuss. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, okay. I think I
But
got
but
what you
honestly, I
mean.
recommend people read
Yeah,
it. If it's just Ars Technica, and honestly, it's not the biggest of things, but it is definitely um, it's basically someone high up in Nintendo basically killed it. Um, So it was they'd got like the handshake, they were all ready to go, and then it got approved with certain people, and then at the last minute it didn't get approved basically. So it sucks because it
yeah,
looks good, it plays well. Um, it's GoldenEye, do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
I
for
I,
sure.
I would like
That,
to see if
that
this ever gets. Do you know what? It wouldn't surprise me though with this leaking and all the interest it's getting, if at some point it doesn't come out on Switch and Xbox though.
let's hope it does. Let's hope at least it does. Like, so right now the only two ways that you can play the GoldenEye game, the original GoldenEye 007 game, is if you own a Nintendo 64 console or if you own an Xbox Series S at least that is able to emulate the game, which is pretty capable of it. There are a ton of videos that shows how good the emulation from the Series S is doing.
Yeah, so it's do you know what? And it works with
It,
pads and everything like that, so you can literally just plug it in. And supposedly you can even run it like a proper game on a modded Xbox 360 console as well. So,
Mhm.
hmm,
We can only hope. We can only wait. We can only see what's going on. But it is a really big shame. Shame on you, Nintendo, for what you have done. Man, it would be so huge for both of them, for both Microsoft, for as well as Nintendo, especially for Rare to release a GoldenEye 007 game.
yeah, no, it's
Man,
so odd, isn't it?
it's just a big shame. Let's just hope something happens. If Scott Pilgrim was able to come back, maybe this game will come back. I don't know.
Who would have thought Scott Pilgrim would have come back though?
Exactly. After what?
Yeah,
Seven,
exactly.
8 years, something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
But since we are talking about speculations, because after all, this whole episode, as well as all the other episodes, are based on our opinions and speculations about stuff, guess what? Silent Hill, and we are not going to have anything.
Supposedly. So obviously the composer Akira Yamaoka, if I pronounced that right, recently said that his next project would be the one you're hoping to hear about. So everyone assumes it's Silent Hill.
Yeah.
and
And
the
then
interview got took
Konami
down.
comes in.
Yeah, and Konami have come out and done a statement to VGC saying Konami did not ask AI Hub to take down the interview. So it sounds like they're trying to distance themselves from it, saying there's nothing there, which it may still happen. It could be coming. But an insider, that insider Dust Golem, said 100% Silent Hill is coming back, and he's the one that previously revealed all the correct information about the new Resident Evil, well ahead of its original reveal. So yeah, it's
curious, nonetheless.
Silent Hill will come back. Whether it's coming soon or in the future, I don't know. But Silent Hill, they're not going to get rid of Silent Hill. It's coming. It's
It
just
needs to
as and
come back.
when. Yeah, exactly. We just don't know when. And if it's going to be an exclusive to PlayStation, is it going to be an exclusive to Xbox? Is it going to be exclusive to Stadia? We just don't know. No one knows. We don't know because that's going to be a big, massive reveal at some point for someone. So we'll just have to keep our eye out and see what happens, basically.
Exactly. It's going to, if in case of Golden State, it's literally going to be a big review for someone because there's just one person playing on Google Stadia, I think.
And that one person will really enjoy it.
Oh yeah, for sure. We are doing this for you, man. But continue about rumors and speculations. We do have something quite odd, I would say. It seems. Sure, we have an insider here that just that told us some rumors about Disney's big plans about for Planet of the Apes, the franchise, the big well-known franchise. And the most interesting thing, it does say some things about movies and series and all and products and all that kind of stuff. But in terms of video games, that this is what this podcast is all about. It seems that a new video game is going to be developed by Bethesda. I'm not saying that this is what's going to happen. I'm not saying that is happening. This is what the insider is saying that is happening. What do you think? Especially now that we know that Bethesda and the ZeniMax is working on Indiana Jones game.
Possibly. I mean, I don't know who the insider was, or and I'd take it with a pinch of salt. But a lot of the information kind of makes sense. It all seems plausible, especially with the TV stuff, the film stuff. So I don't know why the game wouldn't, but that would be a cool game being developed by Bethesda. It's a big property. It's not as big as Indiana Jones and Star Wars, but I mean, maybe Bethesda have pallied up with
nice.
Disney, obviously, for stuff, but we shall see.
What do you say? Wouldn't you say that is quite curious, the fact of how many stuff, how many news talking about something Disney and Microsoft related we've been having, because we had the announcement of the Indiana Jones game.
Yep.
And then we had the rumors talking about an Xbox exclusive Star Wars game. And now we have a Planet of the Apes game being developed by soon to be Xbox Game Studio. Curious.
Curious. Do you know what? It's so hard to say anything. I mean, I'm not a big Planet of the Apes fan, but it's Bethesda, and Bethesda could make a good game. They could make a crap game, for all we know. I mean, the last Planet of the Apes game wasn't that good. It wasn't by Bethesda, but it wasn't anything to write home about. But
yeah,
with Disney's pushing it, I mean, it makes sense. I can see it being plausible, but this is one of those ones we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, only time will tell. But I'm interested.
for sure.
So I'd like to see Disney do this with more of the properties, though. Get decent developers to make them. So
yeah, I know what you mean.
But to be fair, if I can play a game as a monkey riding a horse with a machine gun, that sounds pretty fun as well. I mean,
I would just add the monkey smoking a cigar.
yeah,
Seems
there we
to
go. We
be
can do that.
the perfect monkey game is a monkey riding a horse with a machine gun and with a big cigar. Do it, do it, do it, do it. That simple as that. I'm going to make a patent about that, so that we will all money. Simple as that. But
Oh.
again, this is just a bunch of speculations, as well as the big elephants in the room. Square Enix.
Is it going to Sony?
What
Is it going to Xbox? Is it going to Stadia? No. Is it going to Nintendo? Nobody knows.
is going to stay?
You never know.
Imagine, imagine during the middle of this month, Google Stadia announces Square Enix is ours. There we go.
It'd get people on Stadia though.
So yeah, probably for sure, I would probably will go on Stadia,
Do you know
especially if
what?
they
Some
announce
those sort of games would work well on, like RPGs work well on cloud because even if your internet's not that good, you don't have to have like lightning reflexes like with Destiny and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I know what it
I'm surprised they didn't go in the more RPG and like people in Japan and that want to be mobile. It just baffles me. It's like when Microsoft have all those years just stopped pumping out games that Japanese people were interested in, and then went, oh, for some reason we're not selling consoles in Japan. I wonder why. And you're like, no shit.
No shit, Sherlock.
Yeah. So
What the
so now, yeah, there's a rumor that keeps coming and going. 1 week it's coming to Xbox and Microsoft. 1 week Square Enix is selling to Sony. 1 week they're selling to someone else. 1 week they're not selling. 1 week they're making exclusives. Like there was like a rumor like a week ago that Final Fantasy VII remake was coming to Xbox another year later because they've got Sony had definitely paid for exclusivity for an extended time, and now it's come out this
Yeah,
week.
yeah.
Is like it's definitely coming out in April on Xbox. So
Like with
who knows? Who
there
knows this?
was like there was a tweet where Square Enix just marked Xbox Game Pass and said we need to talk.
Yeah. But that could be anything. They could just be
Yeah,
messing about. Do you know what I mean? It sounded like they
yeah,
were
for
being like
sure.
a, I'm going to have a word with you because they were taking the mess out of Final Fantasy 12, weren't they, a bit on the
Oh yeah,
post?
for
So,
sure,
but
for
who
sure,
who
for sure.
knows? Who knows? I'm not. I'd like more Square games. I don't like the fact that Sony has this massive monopoly on all the exclusive Square games. I mean, we're getting more on Xbox, but the big hitters like Final Fantasy, Dragon Age have all had massive exclusivity on PlayStation. I'd love some of the.
Hmm.
Tell you what though, I'd just love some of the back catalogue. That'd be a good Game Pass add-on. Square
That would be
Enix's back
nice.
catalogue, all the Tomb Raiders and stuff like that.
No, yeah, that would be awesome. Not gonna
Um,
lie, we had all the Tomb Raiders during
no,
some
I
time.
I mean the old Tomb Raiders, like the PS1, the
Ah,
PS2
the
ones.
originals.
Yeah, get those, get
Nice.
all that stuff pumped out. That there's such a history. I mean, I don't think Square Enix
Just
make a lot of high quality games anymore, but
but they are so pretty
yeah, I
capable.
mean, if you're into your Final
Pretty.
Fantasy and that, they're great for you, like Kingdom Hearts and stuff. But they've got such a wealth of IPs as well, though. I mean, whoever get if they do sell, they might not want to sell, but if they do ever sell, whoever gets them has got a ticket into especially certain markets and that niche side of it that no one else will be able to match. Because there's no other company out there that pumps out games like them, like Final Fantasies and stuff like that. So, but who knows? Like I say,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
they've not announced the Final Fantasy MMO for Xbox yet. They've only announced it for PS5. So Square are definitely in Sony's pocket, but you never know. I mean, I doubt Microsoft to buy them. I don't think Sony would buy them. I don't think Sony have the money to outright. I think Square Enix's value is about a tenth or a fifth of Sony's value. So they haven't got like a massive.
Really?
I'm sure. I'm sure. I was reading something online the other day.
But
Square.
here's the thing. I think that, so for example, if they, I think if it was possible, if it was possible for them to be acquired by someone, I think that they would end up preferring to be acquired by Sony because
Yeah,
they have a closer relationship, for what I can tell. And it is what just happened with Insomniac. You know what I mean? They had a since the beginning of the company, they had a pretty close relationship with Sony, and then they were acquired, and that's nice.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't necessarily think that Sony would be able to buy Square Enix. Like,
They might be able to. I mean, I
if
am
they
just
do,
looking. I think the numbers
no,
I saw
yeah,
online aren't right, but according to
yeah,
this, they're
like
so like
if they do,
PlayStation's worth like 37.5 bill, which
hmm
I didn't think they
but
would
like,
be, but and Square
but like,
Enix is worth like a couple of billion. So
if they do end up acquiring, that would be awesome. It would be really nice. Congrats to Sony investing
mm.
on their studios, even though people were just saying that, and as well, Jim Ryan just said that only worked with organic growth.
Yeah, that's the thing in it. Yeah, the fanboy
But
mentality is Xbox only buy studios; they don't do organic like Sony. So
PlayStation
one that goes
creates,
against the
Xbox
Sony
takes.
fanboy thing, and the fact that Sony bought Insomniac and all that, they didn't grow them, but Naughty Dog.
Yeah. Do you know Naughty Dog? The wonderful company that I'm not being sarcastic. Naughty Dog is really awesome. They were bots.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
weren't like creative, for fuck's sake. I think it's amazing when people just decide to compare this stupid stuff. But let's see what happens. It will be huge. It will be a really nice move
Whoever gets
from
them will get
Sony.
a very good catalog to work with.
For
But
sure, for sure.
if
But
it was going to be
here's
anyone,
that.
I see it as Sony because they've got the
Yeah, me too.
ties.
Me too, me too. They got a really nice relationship, but I don't think that it would be as big, like a bigger reaction. Like it would be massive for sure. After all, it's Square Enix, but I don't think it would be like a bigger boom than it was with Bethesda and Xbox.
No,
But it does make sense if Square Enix end up being acquired by Sony. After all, as the same way as Bethesda was acquired by Xbox, they had a pretty close relationship. It makes sense if it happens. We just need to see if Sony does have the money for it.
yeah, I think Sony's priorities are more like the people that made Demon Souls remake. That
Yeah,
company, I think
they were.
they'll be picked up next.
I thought that company was already part
No, no,
of
they're not
PlayStation
owned by
Studios.
Sony.
Really interesting, curious, really curious. But probably they are going to be acquired because which game of them did they release any game for other platforms?
Not recently, I don't think. Let's have a look. I don't know.
If you can see, if you can see to the history of the company
Let's have a look.
somehow.
I can't remember. Let's
Hmm.
have a look. It was by Blue Point, wasn't it? Blue Point
Yeah.
made the Shadow of the Colossus remake, which was PS4 only.
Okay.
Gravity Rush
Yeah.
remastered, which was PS4 only. Uh, Uncharted: The Nathan Drake Collection, PS4 only.
Hmm.
They made the port of Titanfall onto the Xbox 360. Uh,
Really?
yeah, the only other thing
Like,
they've done that isn't PlayStation is the Metal Gear Solid HD collection, but the rest of it they've only done PlayStation games. So they did uh,
yeah.
God of
We
War
can be certain of that.
remasters, Ico and
Yeah.
Shadow of the
We can
Colossus
be.
collection on PS3, PlayStation All Stars
Hmm.
Battle Royale on the Vita, Flower. So
Hmm.
they basically the 90% of what they do is remastered collections or ports to like lesser consoles. So
But like we do can already consider them PlayStation
yeah,
Studio.
they're
There's no
90%
doubt
of
about that.
they haven't done a game for Xbox since 2014, so what's that 7 years? So they're pretty much an independent team, but they just literally work for Sony really. So I can see them becoming Sony sooner rather than later, fully Sony.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Well, let's see what happens then.
Yeah, yeah,
It would be nice. It would be nice without mattering which company acquires them, or even if they end up not being acquired by nobody. Well, only time will tell us.
yeah, yeah.
We do have, and going to the what our last important topic here
Yeah, our last bit of sort of news to discuss, really, like topic wise.
that says that Xbox Series. It says this: Xbox development bots. This is exciting platform updates. This is just the beginning. So here's what we have. Speaking on the last official Xbox podcast, no, it's not our podcast. It's Major Nelson's podcast. The director of the program management, Jason Ronald, said that these new platform announcements will be made as early as over the coming months. The director of the programming, Major Nelson, added, "There's a lot coming. We can't really say too much, and this that I think that we're going to have Jason Ronald back on sooner rather than later." Ronald said, "As a team, we are just really excited by this initial response from all fans around the world. At launch, we say it all the time internally. This is really just the beginning. We've got a lot of really exciting things that are coming down to the pipeline over the coming months and over the coming years." He added, "We are also partnering really closely with key game developers from all across the industry to really take full advantage of all the next gen capability. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, guys. All the next gen
Capabilities.
features. Yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm tired. All the
Yeah,
next gen
I'm
features.
surprised you've managed to go for like 2 hours now, 2.5 hours. Jesus, it's
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. This is my training in English being accomplished.
you get your
But
certificate in the post.
yeah, for sure. But like all the next gen features that we put in the Xbox Series S and Series X. We are really excited as we get further into the year and closer to this holiday to start sharing more of the details about what is in development and how you can really take advantage of these next gen platforms. So I'm going to stop reading here so we can already the talk and debates about this. And yeah, I think that's awesome. Like it's actually it's taking them quite a long time for them to add true next gen features to the games. I don't know if it's just about the developers who are not able to work with the console already to know how to do something more mind blowing, but nice to see that they are working on something new, right?
Yeah, like I say, I mean, it sounds originally though it's going to be sort of like bug fixes and sort of like improvements to what's there. So like improved quick
Mm-hmm.
resume, so it doesn't mess up as much and doesn't work sometimes.
Yeah,
To be fair, I've noticed recently though, I've not had any issues with quick resume after that. After Christmas, everything seems to work fine now, so that's good.
nice. That's
Supposedly
awesome.
they've finally fixed that controller disconnection issue where it would just kick you off your controller, like it would kick you off the Xbox. So supposedly
That,
that's being rolled out. Um, he also said that they're going to be focusing on some of the missing features on the Xbox app.
mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah,
Thank God
God,
for that.
yeah,
To
bring us
to
back
the long
achievements, bring
enough,
us back the store, just make it like
bring
it
us
used to
back
be.
bring us back the clubs.
It says we're going to be updating the mobile app over the next months to add things like achievements. Um, and they're going to make improvements to broadcasting, which could be nice. I'd like to see him do like a proper, because PlayStation, I don't know what it's like on the PlayStation 5, but PlayStation 4 had an amazing like video editing software on it, and it gave you like
Nice.
themes and intros and like exits and all that sort of stuff. And it was, and every sort of couple of months they'd bring out like game themed ones. So Like there was a horror one, then there'd be like a Call of Duty one. So if you were a video maker, you got you don't have to waste your time doing that. It's already there and for you and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Xbox had a crap one on Xbox One, and they just sort of left it to die. So I'd love to see something like that get improved.
Yeah,
Another
for
thing is the
sure. It would
sharing
be nice.
experience and quality of things like game DVR.
Mm-hmm.
So they're looking at hopefully fixing those issues where the capture's too dark and stuff like that. And also stuff like quick resume, adding it to more titles and making it better, and letting people switch it on or off, which is a good idea as well. Which might even free up some memory because the hard drive space, there's a large chunk of it of that's put aside is for quick resume to sort of like save state your game. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, it doesn't say a lot. Like I say, I mean, all I'd like is it just to bug fix what's currently out there.
For sure.
I'd like to see them add more themes because the theme selection's crap for that, especially with the animated themes. PlayStation
Really?
on the PS4 has so many cool themes. Like you can get themes for like everything. Like I had game themes, I had like a Hobbit theme, whereas Xbox doesn't have
Nice.
that. I mean, they used to have it on the 360, and then they killed it.
Oh yeah, I do. And that's funny. I do remember that. Like I can't say much about this because I still don't know next gen console, but I know what you mean about this kind of problems. I'm actually just mostly surprised by the controller bug
Yeah,
because that was a problem on the Xbox One that suddenly the controller just got disconnected and then you needed to try to parry the controller again, and you wasn't being able to get it to connect it.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's so weird, and it's always in the middle of a bloody game as well, which drives you mad.
Would that be because of the first wave of next gen consoles,
I think
or
it's
it's
whatever
something more
it,
program something like that?
yeah, I think it's just a software bug because the controller still worked. It just suddenly, do you know, like when you push the button and it connects,
Mm-hmm.
it would just disconnect you, and you'd have to sort of like reboot to reconnect. It was just
Yeah,
like a
it's
glitch. So it's only happened
it's.
twice, but it was
Mm-hmm.
twice was more annoying than it needed to be. But that's supposedly fixed or at least improved. So we'll see.
Starts
I'd just like to
hoping
see
so.
some
Sorry.
all these backwards compat upgrades come out. We keep talking about, but we haven't seen them properly yet. So
Oh
who
yeah.
knows? Who knows? Maybe they're going to
Who
roll that
knows?
out and they're just testing it, but we'll have to wait and see.
Well, again, they are promising that we are going to have news about backwards compatibility.
Yeah,
Let's
exactly.
just hope what happens and see what they are talking about. If there's going to be new
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
games in the library, or if there's not, or is going to be next gen features for these games, those games actually, and see what happens. So, for us to end this what the shortest episodes that we've made, probably.
No, it's one of the longest.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
I
you're being
think this.
sarky.
I
I'm too
think
tired to
the.
notice.
I know. No worries. I'm sorry, but like, I think this episode is being bigger than the last one. But it's okay. It's okay. It's part of the job, and we try to make it more compact so we don't end up dying and wanting to enter a coma and see what happens. But just some more really nothing very special, but it's something really nice. We've been having a lunar sale on Xbox Store. So if you wanna go grab some really nice games, especially with a really nice offers, go on, check it out. It's available right now. And like big highlights in my opinion for Blue Dragon and for Lost Odyssey.
Yeah.
Check it out. The games are totally worth it for you to see. Of course, they are turn-based combat RPGs. Yeah. But give it a try. There's no problem. They are cheap as fuck for for God's sake. So try it out, have
Yeah,
fun,
there's some
and
big sales on. Like I said, it's only till Tuesday, so I believe.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, there's
Would
some good
you
stuff.
give
I
a
tell you
better explore?
what is on sale that I recommend. The Tomb Raider stuff's all on sale. I definitely recommend picking them up as well, with all like the
Nice,
DLCs included. So
nice, nice. That's awesome. That's really awesome. Anything else that you
um,
would
what
recommend or something like that?
stuff I'm probably looking at. There's a couple of 360 games on sale I'm quite interested in.
Nice,
Like Spec Ops was on sale. That's worth having a look at. Uh,
awesome.
there's a few bits. Mad Max is on sale for a fiver. That's not a bad price. I'm tempted. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just having. There's so many. I'm just trying to have a quick look through it while I'm talking to you. There's the
I think
Doom
we do have
collections on
like,
sale, which is quite good. Like
yeah,
the complete set. I think there's some
definitely, definitely check it out.
Namco collections are on sale as well. I'm interested in them
Mm-hmm.
for me retroness.
Like, I think during this lunar sale we have what 500 offers, something like that.
Yeah, Doom Slayers collection is £12.50, which isn't a bad price. I'm just seeing if there's out else. There's so many, like all the major games are on sale. I mean, there
Yeah,
is a lot of stuff
from
that's been on sale previously, but they have added some
yeah,
other stuff,
but,
and there's
but
like
like
a few
that.
360 more on sale, which is good. So
But there's no need for you to go to every single page and
no,
recommend a
the
game for
Life is
checking out.
Strange are on sale
Yeah,
at the moment
that's
though. Life is Strange season one,
nice.
£3.19. Life is Strange Before the Storm, which is like the second like prequel game, £2.79 on sale. So I'd recommend them. Or Micro Machines, £2.99. Not an amazing game, but for £2.99 if you want a bit of fun, I'd recommend that
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot. All the recent games as well are all on sale. So if there's something you're looking at, like that Puyo Puyo Tetris is on sale. That's like 25% off, and also all the Kingdom Hearts is on sale, including the Rhythm
Awesome.
version. I keep looking at that Rhythm game, wondering if I want it or not. But I feel like it's going to go on Game Pass as soon as I buy it. So
As everything,
yeah,
as
that's the
everything we
problem.
buy,
That's the problem.
it just goes to Xbox Game Pass, or it becomes available on Games with Gold.
That's why I don't want to buy that Doom collection. I want it because it's such a good price. But I'm like, in a month's time, they're probably just going to add it onto Game Pass anyway. So
Yeah, soon enough they probably will end up. Well, you do have some really nice offers as well. With, for example, Assassin's Creed. You do have a pack with 6 games. That is really a nice deal. I'm not gonna lie, for the price that they are asking for it, and with all the games that you will gain it, and for the price that it was before this lunar sale, is really worth it. I'm not gonna say the price right now because what I can see here is on real, and it wouldn't be worth it for you to see here. It's hear me saying on how it is, how much it costs on real, and then for you to convert it on pounds or dollars and all that kind of stuff. So
there doesn't seem to be much Assassin's Creed stuff on sale over here. It's just the last three games. So maybe there's
uh,
a.
no, there is a pack with 6 games there for what I
Oh,
can remember, and
I'm
the
looking here and I can't see that. So maybe
really.
there's a.
Maybe it's a region locked, or maybe it's not from the lunar sale. I think then it's from the normal weekly sale then.
Maybe, but I'll have to have a look at that.
But for what I checked from the this pack with the last 3 games, it's nice because here in Brazil the price is cheaper for you to get Assassin's Creed Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla is cheaper than if you try to go and grab Assassin's Creed Valhalla itself.
Yeah, exactly.
So definitely check it out as well if you can.
Nice. Nice.
So
And I think that wraps
with
up this
that,
episode then. Um,
yeah.
yeah,
Thank God. No, just kidding.
2 hours and 45 minutes. Hopefully next week we might try and make it a bit shorter next week if possible. It depends what news
For
comes out.
sure.
Maybe
Or
we'll
maybe
try
we
and
can.
focus on stuff. So
Or maybe we can just make the next episode to be all about one thing and that's it.
Yeah, we'll see what happens through the week, 'cause we say that, and then you never know. There'll probably a clear approved Bethesda like Friday or something, and we'll have loads to talk about. We don't know, but we'll think of
Exactly.
something. But yeah, you make sure you give us a like and a subscribe. I mean, we're on Spotify. This will be up in the next sort of you're listening to it now, I assume, if you're listening to this on Spotify. But if you listen to us on Twitch, we're going to put this up on Spotify in the next couple of days. You can find us on Spotify just under XBL Party Podcast. You can find us on Twitch under XBL Party Podcast. You can find a copy of the video version of this going up on YouTube in the next day, and that's under I'm a Ghostbuster Gaming at the moment, which is my own personal channel. Just until we've got enough episodes to sort of set our own channel up, it's going to just be a sort of subheading there. And you can follow our Twitter page, which is party_XBL, and that's where we obviously that's the Twitter page for the show. And you can find me on Twitter at Z23Ash, and
As well as you can find me as FBO Amorin 97.
there you go. They're on the screen right now as well for you, so if you need to find them, they're all there. And obviously on social, like on Twitch and YouTube, I've put all the links on as well. So until next time, everyone have a great weekend. Stay safe, enjoy gaming, and we will see you most likely next weekend for another episode. Episode 5.
Thank you very much, guys.
No worries.
Bye
Have a
bye.
great night, everyone. Bye-bye.